Previously in the Big 12.
Touchdown, Mims! Baylor is pouring it on against OU. The catch is made by Weeks, who's been for free and is going to score. Oklahoma is in front. Intercepted. Massive comeback victory for Oklahoma.
A historic comeback over a proud underdog. Now, 3 weeks later, an opportunity at redemption.
Give them the very best of you.
Or a repeat.
Touchdown!
From the teams that brought you the Big 12 Game of the Year.
How did he do that?
The highly anticipated rematch.
11 men dedicated to each other.
With playoff hopes hanging in the balance. The Oklahoma Sooners, the Baylor Bears. In the Big 12 Championship.
You're watching the 2019 Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game on ABC. From AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, two 11-1 teams go head-to-head. It's 7th-ranked Baylor and number 6 Oklahoma for the conference title and perhaps a chance to play for the national championship as part of the 4-team college football playoff. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Sean McDonough along with Todd Blackledge. We'll be joined in just a moment by Holly Rowe. Delighted to have you with us. The start of a huge day of college football. Todd, anytime you play for a conference championship, it's a big game. But about 12 hours ago, this game got even bigger with Utah's loss in the Pac-12 title game.
Well, absolutely. You know, Oklahoma was always going to be in that conversation at the end of the year in the playoff. Baylor might have been on the outside looking in. Not anymore. With that loss of Utah, if Georgia loses later on today to LSU, the winner of this game should and will get into the playoffs, I believe.
Of course, Oklahoma looking for its 5th straight conference title. The quarterbacks change in Norman. Not much else does. For the 3rd year in a row, the Sooners leading the country in total offense, this time led by Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I think it's okay to officially dub Lincoln Riley an offensive guru because 3rd straight transfer quarterback, and all Jalen Hurts is doing is putting up the same kind of numbers as the guy before him. He's accounted for over 4,500 yards of total offense and 50 touchdowns. He's been an incredibly mature leader for this team, and the luxury he has today is in this game he gets his #1 weapon back, CeeDee Lamb, who did not play in the game at Waco. He is a big-time playmaker. I expect them to get the ball to #2 very early and very often.
Hurts was brilliant in the second half. Was the biggest come-from-behind win in Oklahoma history at Baylor 3 weeks ago. Baylor, outstanding defense. You don't say that a lot in the Big 12, but it's true of this team.
Interesting matchup against Oklahoma. This is the stingiest defense in the Big 12, holding their opponents to 18.4 points per game. Also the greediest because they take the ball away more than ever. The strength is up front. Their defensive front, James Lynch, was the defensive player of the year. Great numbers, but the anchor is that guy that loads up to the nose guard, Ravion Roy. Both those guys are a handful.
13th in the country in scoring defense are the Baylor Bears, who take the field. Their first appearance in the Big 12 championship game. They did win 2 conference titles earlier this decade when there was no title game. And Oklahoma. This is the 18th Big 12 title game. The Sooners making their 11th appearance. And they've won it 9 times. Baylor and Oklahoma, and the kickoff in just a moment.
ESPN, home of the New Year's Six and the college football playoff. You're watching Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
And we welcome you back live inside AT&T Stadium. Baylor and Oklahoma, rematch of one of the great games of this season in college football. The Bears led 28-3. At home in Waco, led 31-10 at the half. Did not score in the second half. Oklahoma rallied to win 34-31. Baylor's only loss of the year. The Sooners' only defeat was at Kansas State. Baylor won the toss and deferred, so Oklahoma will take the ball first. Noah Rauschenberg, a freshman from Tulsa, Oklahoma, kicks off for the Baylor Bears, trying to win 12 games in a season for the first time in school history. Trey Brown lets it go, and it's a touchback. Down on the field, here's Holly Rowe.
Oklahoma Oklahoma quarterback Jalen Hurts has had one of the most unique journeys in all of college football. He earned the starting job for Nick Saban as a true freshman, led them to 2 straight national championship appearances, but he was pulled in that second half against Georgia. Tua Tagovailoa came in and took over. He never regained his job, but he was there. He did not transfer, and when they needed him most, he came into the SEC championship game last year and saved the day. Alabama has been in 3 straight national championships because of Jalen Hurts in some way or fashion. And now today, new team, new moment, but he can still get to a college football playoff with a win today.
Now the quarterback of the Sooners in the Big 12 title game, Kennedy Brooks, banged down after a gain of 3. He's been a great force lately, has Brooks, alongside Jalen Hurts. He's averaging 11.7 yards per attempt. The all-time record in FBS is 11.6, set by his predecessor, the Heisman Trophy winner last year, Kyler Murray.
He's running the ball so much. I mean, the last 4 games, 22, 27, 28, and 16 carries. And he runs like a fullback, not your normal quarterback.
Hands it off. Here's C.D. Lamb, his first touch. He's upended along the near side by Braylon Arnold. Outstanding safety, redshirt junior.
Well, here's the first big challenge for Phil Snow's defense, his 3rd down. This was the problem area for him in the loss at Waco. Oklahoma was 12 of 18 in that first meeting. They couldn't get off the field. They ended up running. Oklahoma did 95 plays. 3rd down is the key today for Baylor's defense.
That's what Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator of the Bears, told us yesterday. Hurts, quick throw near side. Very close to the first down, but not getting it. Charleston Rambo, who got popped along the near sideline.
Now that's Rambo not getting to the sticks. I mean, that's his responsibility. He's got to know what he needs for the first down. All he needed to go was 1.5 yards further, and they get the first down easily. That's a mistake by the wide receiver, not getting the necessary yardage.
Nice tackle by Jamison Houston. So here's Reeves Munchau, redshirt sophomore to punt, and Braylon Arnold is back deep for the Baylor Bears. Baylor has blocked 5 kicks this year, 2nd most in the country, 1 behind Houston. Good punt. Arnold fair catch just beyond the 15-yard line. 50-yard punt. Well, here come the Bears on offense for the first time, led by the junior from Austin, Charlie Brewer. Behind RG3 and Bryce Petty, all-time at Baylor in total offense and pass yards. You can add Seth Russell as one of those. He's behind all-time in passing touchdowns, making his 29th career start. Rare 3-and-out for Jalen Hurts and the Oklahoma offense.
This is a great matchup all day. Denzel Mims against Parnell Motley.
There's John Lovett. It's a deep running back group for Baylor, and he scampers ahead with a first down. Just shy of the 30. They'll mark it at the 29. Kenneth Murray and Pat Fields made the stop for Oklahoma.
Excellent block by Xavier Newman-Johnson, the right guard, pulling to lead that play. And we mentioned Denzel Mims. He got a nice block on the perimeter on Motley, but that's the matchup. In the 4th quarter, Motley went exclusively with Denzel Mims and slowed that Baylor offense down quite a bit 3 weeks ago.
Brewer to pass, under pressure, spun around, and down he goes. Back at the 21-yard line. Ronnie Perkins, an emerging star, there first for Oklahoma with help from Nick Bonito.
Well, Perkins is inside. He's normally outside. It's not a blitz. Brewer just had to hold the football a little longer than he wanted. Didn't see anything open up, and pretty soon Perkins came free inside. And he has really come on and been a disruptive force in this Oklahoma pass rush.
Oklahoma defense much improved this year with a new coordinator, Alex Grinch. On 2nd and 17, short pass over the middle. Treston Ebner dropped at the 25-yard line. Still 14 yards short of the first down. Another tackle for Kenneth Murray, one of the best linebackers in the country. He was one of 12 semifinalists for the Buckus Award.
You'll say his name a lot today. I mean, he has got elite speed. He makes plays sideline to sideline. He plays every down, never comes off the field. Also very involved in their pass rush in third down situations from the edge. That's where he looks like he's lined up on this play.
And a big game at Baylor in their come-from-behind win on his 21st birthday. On third and long, lots of time for Brewer. Checks it down. Christoph Henley, the tight end, stopped at the 31. It's Kenneth Murray again with help from Nick Benito. And the Bears will punt on their first possession. There's Alex Grinch. Came over from Ohio State. It was one of the worst defensive teams in the country last year. They still managed to make it to the college football playoff. But they are much improved defensively in 2019. Isaac Power, the punter. C.D. Lamb, no fair catch. Managed to stay in bounds and bring it back to the 23. 49-yard punt. J.T. Woods made the tackle. No score. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, introducing the newest honorary member of the College Football Hall of Fame, the Goodyear blimp. Goodyear more driven. Roof closed at AT&T Stadium today. Sunny outside, but a little on the cool side. 52 degrees. Couldn't be more pleasant inside the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
John, I really think C.D. Lamb is going to get his hands on the ball a lot here early.
We look in his direction on first down. Jalen Hurts on target. Missed tackle. And here goes Lamb across midfield. Still going. Inside the 20. And finally taken down inside the 10-yard line by Henry Black.
He's only had 6 catches the last 2 weeks. He's been visibly frustrated. When you see him on film, get him involved. He's your biggest playmaker. What he does best is what he does after the catch. He breaks tackles. That's the part of his game that has improved the most from last year to this year.
He told us we did their opening game against Houston. He said, I need to improve after the catch, and boy has he. 11 yards after the catch per reception. Best in the Big 12. Helped by a couple of missed tackles by the Baylor defense. Now Jalen Hurts ducks down at the 5. We saw Jordan Williams and Henry Black.
It's good team defense that time. Both these offenses are going to run their quarterback, particularly in the red zone, because you pick up an extra blocker, and they're both very good runners. Jalen Hurts is like a fullback in the backfield, so basically you have 3 backs in the backfield right now that are all physical runners for Oklahoma.
Hurts got them back into that game and pulled out the victory at Baylor with his legs. He carried 27 times. He handed it off here, and it's a touchdown for Kennedy Brooks.
It's a zone read play, and James Lynch right here is going to come for the quarterback. And that's what Jalen's going to read. He's reading 93. He's coming for the quarterback. Give it to Kennedy Brooks. And an easy touchdown for Oklahoma to start the game.
Huge hole created by that offensive line that brought back just one starter from last year, the center, Creed Humphrey. It's been an improving group as the season has progressed. Gabe Burkich added the extra point. The extra point made it 7-0. 6-yard touchdown run by Brooks, set up by the 71-yard catch and run by C.D. Lamb.
The Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game on ABC is brought to you by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. In part by Ford, where the Built for the Holidays event is going on now. And Ring. With Ring, you're always home.
That's quite a list of Texas high school players of the year. Oklahoma leading this Big 12 title game 7-0. On the touchdown by Kennedy Brooks. Over the last 4 games has averaged more than 133 yards per game. Gabe Burkich kicks off. Josh Fleeks, deepest for Baylor, and they'll take it at the 25. Tonight on ABC, big part of this championship Saturday, the ACC championship game from Charlotte. 23rd Virginia, and number 3 Clemson. How about the numbers Trevor Lawrence has put up lately, Todd? He kind of vanished from the Heisman talk early in the year, but he's having a terrific year.
He's having a terrific year now, and the Clemson defense has been lights out. Nobody expected them to be the same kind of defense as a year ago. They've been even better statistically. They're a scary team right now.
Clemson a huge favorite to win their 5th straight ACC title before Baylor could snap the ball a flag. Mike DeFee is the referee.
Oklahoma, one of the things they do under Alex Grinch that's different, they like to stunt or shift late.
False start. Offense, number 91. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It caused a problem. It caused a problem when these two teams played the first time. That was the tight end Solon who jumped early. They've got to not pay attention to that movement and those shifts because they do it very quickly right before the snap, and it can be very distracting.
Charlie Brewer will go out of the gun on 1st and 15. Treston Ebner in trouble and stopped for a loss. Nick Benito's had an active start to this one. Parnell Motley, the cornerback, also helped. I mentioned they brought in Alex Grinch. Last year, 114th in yards per game allowed. As we like to say, triple digits is not good when you're on defense. Triple digits and everything. Worst in the country in pass defense, 129th. And this year all the way up to 22nd in the country in pass defense. Remarkable improvement by Oklahoma. Reputation in this conference, they don't play any defense. They have this year. Here's Benito after Brewer, who escaped and runs out of bounds. Minimal gain. Got a couple up to the 21. But it'll be another 3rd down and long for Baylor.
One of the things already that Oklahoma's doing different than the first matchup. Now the distance, down and distance, has something to do with it. They were almost exclusively press man-to-man the first game for the first 3 quarters. Because Baylor runs so many RPOs, a lot more zone already early in this ball game.
Baylor scored on its first 5 possessions, 4 touchdowns and a field goal to score 31 points by halftime in that game in Waco against Oklahoma 3 weeks ago. Didn't score in the second half. Second possession here today. Another 3rd and long. Brewer incomplete. A little off target. Chris Plattman diving for it. Jaden Davis, a true freshman, had the coverage.
Good coverage. It was a long throw all the way across the field. Pretty decent throw, but excellent coverage. We talked about C.D. Lamb getting involved offensively. Baylor's going to have to do the same thing with Denzel Mims. They've got to get him some touches with the football their next possession.
There's Isaac Power to punt again. Redshirt freshman out of Castle Rock, Colorado. Not a good kick. Well, it takes a good bounce. And trouble for Lamb, who managed to gather it back in at the 39-yard line.
One of the things Baylor's done the best all year is take the ball away. 28 takeaways. They're plus 12, which is one of the best in the country. A big part of their success this season.
This season, for every field goal, an extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State. Back inside AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, the Big 12 championship game. Oklahoma leading 7-0. 3rd possession for the Sooners. Jalen Hurts managed to turn what looked to be a loss into a gain of a couple. Here's Holly.
C.D. Lamb did not play in that last matchup with Baylor, so he has really been focused today. His pregame warm-up, he was so intense. I noticed his eye black. I went up and said, what does that say? Nobody's safe, and nobody was on that opening drive where he was able to get them closer to the end zone. He's got a mission today to prove.
A dynamic playmaker who really the last 2 weeks has had quiet games. And, anybody that knows wide receivers knows that doesn't set too well in an explosive offense. You want the football, and he needs the football.
Here's Kennedy Brooks breaking free again across midfield with a 1st down to the Baylor 45-yard line, where his taken down by Jordan Williams.
Watch the center, Creed Humphrey. He is just a devastating blocker, stays on blocks extremely well. Now this isn't Bravion Roy, this is his backup that he was working on, and Creed Humphrey got the better of that one.
Oklahoma gets to the line quickly. Hurts down the middle, open man! C.D. Lamb again inside the 20. Well, Jalen Hurts told us when we chatted during the week, Lamb will make his presence felt, and he has done that very early here today.
They tried to reroute him, but Lamb just kept moving with his quarterback. Jalen Hurts got out of the pocket. It was a three-man rush, and he just waited until C.D. Lamb cleared. And that connection, the 1-2 punch, number 1 to number 2, off to a great start.
26-yard gain. Hurts 3 for 3, already over 100. With the big play, the 71-yard connection on the last series. Brooks again swung down to the line by James Lockhart. Fifth-year senior out of Ennis, Texas, and a transfer from Texas A&M.
Now, one of the best things that Baylor did throughout the game a couple weeks ago in Waco, they did not give up big plays. The biggest play in the game was a 32-yard run by Kennedy Brooks. They kept most of the plays in front of them. They just didn't do well on third down. So far today, Oklahoma's already hit him with a couple explosive plays.
2 plays of 20-plus. That's 102 20-yard plays from scrimmage this year for Oklahoma, most in the country. It's C.D. Lamb, the receiver, lined up on the right. It's up for grabs for Rambo along the sideline, out of bounds, with Raleigh Tejada in coverage for Baylor.
It's a good throw by Jalen Hurts over the outside shoulder. Tejada's just trying to work him to the sideline. Use the sideline as your teammate. Rambo goes up. Good call. There's that right foot, the first foot down, clearly out of bounds.
Roy on the field is an incomplete pass. That plays on the
Left foot in. Yeah, the left foot was in before the right foot.
They may reverse this.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma fans think they will. Looks like the
Now,
left
did he have
toes
the ball,
touched
though,
down
Bill?
first, but does he have possession of the ball? I don't think he had secured the catch yet.
The left foot did come down first, but it looked like he was bobbling the football as that foot hit.
No question the left foot's down there first. Great look at it.
From the first view we had, it looked like he had control, but on the second look, you're absolutely right. He does not have control of the ball. Now the other foot's out of bounds.
Yeah.
This call should be confirmed as incomplete.
That's Bill Lamagnier, our rules expert, long-time on-the-field referee.
Yeah, the left foot clearly got down once we showed it again, and that's what the Oklahoma fans are seeing. What they can't see is that ball out of control.
I love the dynamics in the crowd here. Both teams think they're going to get the call to go their way after the replay review.
Yeah, it's funny. Oklahoma fans are signaling touchdown, and the Baylor fans are putting their hands like a bobble. It's hilarious.
It's a play made for replay.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Well, and we've got the biggest screen in the world right here in the stadium that everybody can look at, too.
Rick Lumiere is the replay official. There's the big screen that hangs from the center of
After
the ceiling.
reviewing the play, the receiver had a foot in bounds. However, he did not maintain possession of the ball. It's incomplete pass, third down.
A great example of the process working with replay there. So the ball's still on the 19, third down and 10. They are in field goal range for Gabe Burkich. But as you said, Todd, the key to their comeback in Waco 3 weeks ago for Oklahoma, success on third down. 9 third down conversions. They're particularly adept in the second half. Jalen Hurts, three-man rush, and they get there. James Lockhart first. All three of them there, Lynch and Roy. That is their 21st sack this year when rushing only 3 men, by far the most in the country.
Well, first of all, it takes 2 guys to block Roy. That's going to leave single blocking out here. Lockhart working on Proctor, and he gets there first. And those 3 defensive linemen, they're old, they're mature, they're all physical, and they are the strength of this Baylor defense.
There's Gabe Burkich, the only kicker in the country who hasn't missed a kick. Field goals and extra points combined. And the freshman is still perfect. 44-yarder. And Oklahoma has a 10-0 lead with 4:51 to go in the first quarter. But there is a flag down.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Marquise Hayes with a little shove at the end of the play. The left guard just blocking on the field goal attempt at the end of the play.
The field goal was good. Well after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the kicking team, number 54. That 15-yard penalty being enforced on the kickoff, that's number 54's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul. Timeout.
So there's the penalty. One more of those and he'll be ejected. Welcome back to the 2019 Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game. Oklahoma leading Baylor 10-0. As we continue Dr. Pepper Championship Week, Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, our producer Phil Dean, our director Scott Johnson, our terrific crew. Delighted to have you with us for the start of this huge Saturday of college football. Short kick by Gabe Burkich after the penalty against Oklahoma. And it's going to give Baylor great field position. Jermichael Hasty brought it back almost to midfield. Banged out of bounds by Ramondre Stevenson.
And that was pretty smart by Baylor because normally you have bigger guys in that part of the kickoff return. They had Hasty there, and rather than fair catch, he got some extra yards. And so Baylor now starts with excellent field possession. I think they've got to got to avoid the negative yardage plays on this possession, Sean. They put themselves behind the chains. This Oklahoma defense, we've already talked about how much better they are. They are very fast. They're a very fast, athletic defense that's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
A.D. Miller, special teams player, backup wide receiver, helped off. Third possession for Baylor. They have one first down. Run a total of 7 plays. The 8th is Brewer on the run. He really hurt Oklahoma early in that game in Waco 3 weeks ago when the Bears built the 28-3 lead. A lot of quarterback draw from Brewer in that one.
A lot of quarterback draw, and then also just him going off schedule and running against man coverage. There was gaps that were left in the defense, and he was able to capitalize on it.
John Lovett, the running back. He gets the call, and he gets stopped for a loss. Pat Fields up from the secondary.
Now this is just excellent safety work. Pat Fields, he's going to come and set the edge on the defense right there. His main job is to turn it inside. That's his responsibility, but he does more than that. He actually gets him to the ground. All 3 Baylor possessions, Sean, there's been negative yardage plays by this Oklahoma defense. This is no way to play if you're Baylor. 3rd and long.
3rd and 10. That's a little better than their 3rd down average. A blitz from deep. And the throw is incomplete. Larian Turner-Yell came on the blitz. The pass intended for Tyquan Thornton. And it'll be 4th down and another Baylor punt.
That was a heck of a blitz because Jermichael Hasty is their best pass protector. But watch this blitz take on the back. And this is a safety coming a full head of steam, runs right through the back and forces Brewer to leave the pocket. And then good coverage downfield by Trey Brown.
Well, the Baylor folks thought it was pass interference against Brown. They might have had a point. Isaac Power the punt. C.D. Lamb the fair catch at the 16-yard line. Tomorrow, the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff matchups in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Those are the national semifinals, which we played on Saturday, December 28th. Reese and the guys will also unveil all the New Year's 6 bowl games and have the final top 25 rankings in a 4-hour special. It all starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. Ohio State, #1 in the latest college football playoff ranking. They flip-flop with LSU. Clemson, #3. Georgia, 4. Most believe if Georgia wins tonight, the top 4 will remain the top 4. Jalen Hurts to CeeDee Lamb. And a gain of 2. And, of course, as you said, Todd, most believe if Georgia loses to LSU today in the SEC championship game in Atlanta, the winner of this game is likely to be in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean, again, Oklahoma was always going to be in that conversation. If Utah won, if Utah lost. Baylor was the one, because of their non-conference schedule, that was a little bit more on the outside. But with Utah losing, and if Georgia loses, they're right in the mix.
Hurts on 2nd and 8, got it off in traffic, and it's completed to Braden Willis out near the 35-yard line. He's been more of a target in recent weeks.
It's a mistake by the Baylor defense. They let the tight end go. Nobody picked him up on the backside of that crossing route. Ross Matizik was in there as a linebacker, number 46. He was on the front side. He turned him over, but there was nobody on the other side. And Hurts able to find him for the completion.
Kennedy Brooks stopped at the line of scrimmage. And let's check in back in the studio with Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Sean. Let's take a look at one of AT&T's best performances. Sun Belt Championship, Darrington Evans with his 3rd touchdown in the first quarter. This one a 5-yard TD catch. Appalachian State up 21-7. This game over on ESPN. Sean, Todd, back to you.
All right, Cassidy, thank you. One loss this year for Appalachian State, probably kicking themselves. They lost to Georgia Southern. 2nd down and 10. Hurts sidestepped the traffic after the fake to Brooks. He was looking to throw. Finally got forced out of bounds by Christian Morgan. And it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Good pressure again by James Lockhart. Right now, the matchup that's favoring this defensive line is Lockhart working on R.J. Proctor, who's kind of been back and forth as a guard and tackle. He's a grad transfer from Virginia. Eric Swenson was the normal starting left tackle. We've not seen him yet tonight.
Swenson doesn't look like he's going to play anytime soon. Brooks on the run, and they convert on 3rd and 8. Flags are down in the center of the field.
They're going to get Proctor for a hold on Lockhart. Again, that's the matchup right now that Baylor is taking advantage of.
Holding. Offense, number 54. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
Well, they're calling it on Hayes. I saw it on the left tackle as well. Take a look right here on the left side. Left guard, left tackle. See, I saw it on the top on Lockhart. They saw it inside with the grab on the jersey as Kennedy Brooks was running by. Could have called either one.
So instead of a 1st down, it's 3rd and 18 and a flag thrown. Lincoln Riley signaling the plays into Hurts. He is the play caller as the head coach.
False start. Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's on the center. Creed Humphrey, who is a sophomore, is one of 4 team captains. And we visited with Lincoln Riley last year when Humphrey was a freshman. He said this guy has everything you need to be one of the great centers of all time.
Yeah, strong, athletics, got a wrestling background, so he understands leverage, and he's nasty. I mean, he just loves to finish blocks.
He was the co-offensive lineman of the year in the Big 12 this season with Colton McKivitz of West Virginia. On 3rd and 23, Brooks again slides to the 26, but that's it. Blake Lynch made the tackle. Oklahoma will punt in what will likely be the first play of the second quarter. The first quarter dominated by the Sooners. They have outgained Baylor 146-16. And they lead Matt Rule's Baylor Bears 10-0.
That's the end of the first quarter.
ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Sports Director Brian Keating on KOCO 5 News.
Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
We encourage you to go to v.org/donate and support the great work being done by the V Foundation in memory of the great Jim Valvano. Reeds Munshaw to punt. And Baylor almost had another block kick. You wonder if they got a piece of it. It's so short. Great pressure by Christian Morgan. It takes a good roll for
Morgan. Can't believe he missed it. I mean, he got a great jump coming off the edge and just he can't believe he didn't get this football. Timed his jump, just missed it. Obviously that timeout allowed the Baylor special teams to kind of figure how do they want to attack this punt, and that was a chance for a huge momentum swinging play.
You wonder how he missed. He certainly can't figure it out. Since the start of 2017, they've blocked 14 kicks. Second most in the country behind Northern Illinois. Can they get some offense going?
Got to get the ball to Denzel Mims.
And very quiet here in the first half. Charlie Brewer nowhere to throw it. Takes off running. Doesn't shy away from the contact, and if anything, he rattled Brendan Radley-Hiles, who was slower than Brewer to get up.
This is why when I watch Brewer play, he reminds me of Sam Ehlinger of Texas. That's the way Sam runs. Protect the football, lower the shoulder, and deliver the blow. Now, he did get his bell rung a little bit a couple weeks ago when they had to take him out in the second half of the Texas game, and he only played a half a game against Kansas. Radley-Hiles took the worst of that confrontation, though, on that play.
And the officials directed him to the sideline to get checked out by the medical people. He's a key component of that improved
Number 44
defense.
was removed for observance of a potential head injury. Second down.
Justin Broyles has come in for him, number 25.
You know, that was a fierce collision, and this time and delay is probably good for Brewer also to make sure there's no cobwebs with him either. That was a violent hit in the middle of the field.
Radley-Hiles seemed to be answering the questions pretty adamantly as if he believes he's okay. Brewer's going to run again and does not get back to the line of scrimmage. K9 Kenneth Murray made the tackle. There's a collision again well after the play. The Oklahoma folks think it was incidental.
Well, Khalil Keith is going to pull to lead on the quarterback, and he goes right by Kenneth Murray. He's going to pull. He's the lead blocker. Here's Murray. He goes right by the blocker and right into the backfield to get Murray. Brewer. Khalil Keith has to recognize the speed of Kenneth Murray on a play like that. Another negative yardage play for this much improved Oklahoma defense, and that guy right there is the big reason. Having a heck of a football game so far.
Third down and 3. 2 minutes gone by second quarter. It's been all Oklahoma, leading 10-0. Brewer changing direction, running out of time, and Murray clubbed him to the ground back at the 32-yard line.
And Brewer very slow getting up off the field right now.
Oh boy. Definitely wobbly as he got up, and they'll need to put him through the evaluation. That's his family.
Well, Murray was on the other side. He was going to cover the back, and as soon as he saw the quarterback scramble, you see that elite closing speed. I don't think it was the hit as much as it was hitting the ground.
It looked like his head hit the ground pretty hard as he got taken down. Isaac Power and a fair catch of his punt by C.D. Lamb at the 29-yard line.
Negative plays by this Oklahoma defense led by coordinator Alex Grinch. They've gotten better as the year has gone on. They're confident in the plan. They're confident in the schemes now. They don't have guys getting out of their lanes trying to make plays on their own. They're playing as a more cohesive unit. And those negative plays just really feed right into the speed of this defense.
Kenneth Murray by far the leader of that defense, the star of the defense. It's a lot of the same players as a year ago. With the new system, as much as anything else, Grinch said it was about changing the attitude. Jalen Hurts over the middle and incomplete at the 45-yard line. Big play by Chris Miller to knock it away from Lee Morris.
Chris Miller, when we talked to Phil Snow, he said, I love the way this guy plays. He plays so fast. Now, sometimes he plays a little reckless. He had 3 targeting fouls called on him this season, but he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he plays 100 miles an hour, and he made a big play there.
Because of the 3 targeting calls, he was suspended for their game at TCU. Part of the veteran defense. They have only one underclassman starter on the defense. Kennedy Brooks across the 39 with a yard to spare to pick up the first down. At the 40.
Creed Humphrey again in the right guard. Tyrese Robinson. It's a big offensive line. They took a while to gel. They lost 4 starters from a year ago. Playing their best football right now, particularly in the run blocking play.
All 4 of those lost starters were drafted in the first 4 rounds of the NFL. Look out! Hurts hit from behind. Ball is loose, and it's picked up by Baylor.
Now
Bernard has the ball. James Lynch knocked it out. Now the question is it a fumble or a forward pass?
He was trying to throw the football, but that ball came out right away.
Here the referee, Mike DeFee, say the ruling on the field, a fumble recovered by the defense.
You can see Lynch winning his one-on-one against Ely. Jalen Hurts did not see the pressure coming. He was loading up to throw the football.
Question is that a fumble? Let's bring in Bill Lamagnier.
You know, what they've got to look at is if the arm's going forward with control, doesn't matter, sidearm, underarm, it's a pass. But that hit knocked the ball loose, and it was more of a push forward. So this is a fumble. Good call on the field, and it should be confirmed by replay.
Yeah, I think you're right. And that's been the only negative with Jalen Hurts this year is the starter at Oklahoma is putting the ball on the ground. If this holds, that would be his 6th fumble of the season. 6th lost fumble. He's put it on the ground. More than that.
It would be his 3rd against Baylor. He had 2 fumbles and an interception in the first half of their come-from-behind win in Waco. Charlie Brewer's back on the field. And he got a pat on the head there from Mike DeFee, who I think just wanted to make sure he's all right. We'll bring in Holly Rowe in just a moment, because it definitely looked like he was wobbly when he first got up from that big hit from Kenneth Murray in their last possession. Treston Ebner nowhere to go, and down for a 1-yard loss. Let's send you down to the field. Here's Holly.
Charlie Brewer came off to the sideline, and athletic training staff asked him some questions, talked to him as he sat on the bench, gave him some hydration. Matt Rule came over, talked to him briefly, but everybody that asked him, he talked to, he said, I'm fine. I'm fine. He wanted to run right back out there. As soon as that fumble happened, he popped up, grabbed his helmet, and ran right back out. He's told everyone he's okay.
Brennan Radley-Hiles has also returned to the Oklahoma defense.
Mims again, got to get him the football.
Short set by Brewer and a short completion to R.J. Sneed.
You know, you just feel like Baylor has to take advantage of this. The turnover, the field position, they've got to find a way to get some points on the board. Oklahoma offense is so explosive. You've got to capitalize when you turn them over.
29th takeaway for the Baylor defense. 5th in the nation. in turnover margin, now at plus 13. Only FAU, Alabama, San Diego State, and Notre Dame better in turnover margin than these Baylor Bears, who were 1-11 2 seasons ago, now 11-1, trying to win the conference title. Brewer down the middle, short of his intended target, Josh Fleeks.
And they're going to go for it. This is 4-down territory. That time they had Mims working on a different defender. Nope, they changed their mind. They had him on Trey Brown, and they might have been able to get him the football there. Charlie Brewer was going for the deep throw downfield, and I think that's what Matt Rule's telling him. They had the first down if he throws the ball to Mims.
There's John Mayers, made a lot of clutch kicks as a redshirt freshman. 13 out of 16 this season. They've won several close games, and Mayers has been a big factor in those wins. And that one just sneaks inside the right upright from 44 yards. So it's a one-score game. The Sooners up 10-3. This season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections across the country. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell. See if your school made the national watch list, how your school can compete. You get the committee's attention by using hashtag #LiveMoss Student Section Contest. First, the Baylor students had just about an hour-and-a-half drive from Waco here to AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. And it's about a 2.5-hour drive from Norman here, so easily reachable by car for the fan bases of these two schools. Noah Rauschenberg the kickoff. Here comes Trey Brown. And he does not reach the 20.
Well, Baylor is 0 for 5 on third down, still trying to find a way to get the ball to Mims. He's going to run a little out, and there's a seam route by Fleek. Now, what's going to happen is this linebacker is going to drop underneath Mims, and that's why Charlie Brewer came off of that read. But then he had a chance for a touchdown, just underthrew it. If he throws this ball to the goal line, it's a touchdown, and that's what Matt Rule was so upset. He said, we can't miss these opportunities. You had a touchdown there. You got to take advantage of it. They got 3, but they really wanted 7.
There's Jalen Hurts, 5 out of 7 passing for 120. Takes off running. He's averaged 101 yards per game rushing this year for Oklahoma, and he got 6 on that carry.
Quarterback draw, gain an extra blocker because you fake it to Kennedy Brooks, then he goes into the hole and leads the play.
Jalen's mom, Pamela, here. Remarkable what has transpired in 1 year for Jalen Hurts. As Holly mentioned, he came off the bench with Alabama down in the SEC title game against Georgia by a touchdown in the fourth quarter. 11-2 touchdowns to win the game. Ravion Roy swings down Kennedy Brooks.
Wow, what a play by Roy. He's working against Creed Humphrey. But watch how quick this 6'1", 333-pound guy is. He gets skinny. He goes right between the center of the guard into the backfield. He is the anchor of this Baylor defense. He is a handful because of his quickness and power.
Perhaps now some chance for momentum for Baylor. Neither team has converted a third down. Oklahoma's been better on the first 2 downs. Hurts trying to set up the block. And he patiently weaved his way near a first down. Now the head linesman, John Braun, is going to bring the ball back a little bit, but it looks like he has it on or beyond that yellow line and likely to be a first down.
Such a physical player. I mean, he runs like a fullback. You know, he's a 218, 220-pound kid. And he's not going to slide very often, especially when he knows he's trying to fight for a first down. And I think that he lowered that head and got what he needed.
We talk about his journey. He decided to transfer to Oklahoma. He graduated in 3 years with a degree in public relations from Alabama. Chose Oklahoma. You mentioned Baker Mayfield transferred in, Kyler Murray transferred in, but they were in the program a lot longer than Jalen Hurts was. And Lincoln Riley said, would you think he had to learn a new system, learn his way around a new school, new teammates?
And a whole new offensive line. You know, I mean, 4 new starters on the offensive line. everything, new opponents, you know, how you prepare for the teams you're playing, how they officiate in the Big 12, everything new. And yet his numbers have just been on par and on pace, and in some cases just flat out better.
Of course, each of his two predecessors at Oklahoma won the Heisman Trophy and were the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft. And through 12 games, Jalen's numbers in many ways better. And of course, today not only an important day for many teams trying to position themselves, including Oklahoma, with an eye toward the playoff, but for a number of players trying to finish off their resumes with an eye toward the Heisman Trophy. A little screen to C.D. Lamb, and he got walloped at the 36-yard line. Certainly Jalen Hurts is in the Heisman Trophy conversation. The voters have to have their ballots in by Monday, so this is the last chance to make an impression.
Well, those tough guys playing in championship games today or tonight. You know, so the last big stage for all these guys.
Joe Burrow seems to be the front runner, but who knows? Of course, there are 3 Heisman contenders on that Ohio State team that will play Wisconsin tonight for the Big Ten title. Kennedy Brooks weaved his way to the 42 for an Oklahoma first down. Here are the leading contenders among the quarterbacks for the Heisman, and I think most people think right now Joe Burrow is the likeliest winner.
The most amazing thing to me about that, the numbers are ridiculous for all 3. All 3 transferred from the school they started at to a new school, and in this year having those kind of years. I mean, Joe Burrow's been at LSU 2 years. Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields is their first season with a new team. Unbelievable.
More than midway through the second quarter now. Hurts takes off. The Baylor fans want a holding penalty. And Hurts scurried out of bounds with a gain of about 5 to the 47-yard line.
Jalen wanted to load up and go deep that time, and there was good coverage down the field. Matt Rule wanted to hold. James Lynch was being held on his way to the quarterback. R.J. Proctor, the left tackle, did not get called. When Matt Rule starts to get real animated and excited, it's usually when his dad tries to get a little close to him to help calm him down. He's on the sideline with him.
His dad is a minister.
There he is right there. Dennis.
Rule.
False start. Offense number 56. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
He said, Matt told us, I notice when I get more agitated with referees and my language starts to change, that's generally when my dad gets closer to me along the sideline.
He doesn't say anything, it just gets in his vision where he can see him. That's all it takes.
Well, Dennis raised quite a son, Matt Rule, about as likable a college football coach as you'll ever come across. Very honest. He told a lot of these recruits when he first got to Baylor, I don't know what the future's going to be, but we're going to win eventually. Ramondre Stevenson dropped for a loss.
Really nice play by Blake Lynch. Blake Lynch was the outside linebacker setting the edge of the defense. When you say that, that means you've got to keep your outside arm free and not let anything get outside. You've got to force everything back inside. He was able to do that. And that's why they get another negative yardage play on second down.
Bernard on the play as well.
Well, so far in this ball game, Baylor's defense doing a better job on third down.
Please set the game clock to 6:32. 6:32 and wind it on my signal.
Again, the Sooners were 12 of 18 on third down in Waco 3 weeks ago. They're only 1 of 4 today. And now third down behind the sticks, 3rd and long. This should be a 3-man rush with 8 dropping, trying to force an underneath throw, but always being alert for the quarterback scramble.
Here is that 3-man rush. They didn't pressure Hurts. His throw's too high and incomplete. Intended for Parnell Motley. Or excuse me, Jaden Hazelwood.
Big hit at the end of that incompletion by Terrell Bernard, the middle linebacker, who was dropped very deep in coverage. Rush 3. You trust these 3 defensive linemen to create pressure. There's a hit by Bernard after the high throw, incomplete.
Reeves Munchau on the punt for the 3rd time. And a false start here against Oklahoma.
False start. Kicking team number 6. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Charlie Brewer hurrying to the locker room.
The 5th penalty now on Oklahoma in the ball game. 40 yards worth. Only 1 penalty for Baylor.
Munchau took over for Austin Seibert, who handled all of the punting, place kicking, kickoff last 4 years for Oklahoma. This was a question mark at the start of the year, but Munchau's been phenomenal in the word of Lincoln Riley. Here's Braylon Arnold, lost the ball as he was tackled, and the Bears got it back at the 41-yard line. Delarian Turner-Yell knocked it out. J.T. Woods recovered.
Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game on ABC is brought to you by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville, and in part by Pacific Life, 150 years strong, protection and retirement solutions for your future.
We welcome you back to Arlington, Texas, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game. Oklahoma leading 10-3. Baylor very much in the game, despite the fact they have 19 yards of offense, and they have a new quarterback. Here's Gary Bohannon, redshirt freshman from Earl, Arkansas. Saw Charlie Brewer run to the locker room, and we have not seen him back on the sideline yet. Bohannon, experienced backup. I've used him in a lot of situations near the goal line, almost as a wildcat quarterback. He comes out throwing, and it's incomplete, intended for Christoph Henley. Here's Holly.
Well, guys, Charlie Brewer got up and was unsteady walking to the sideline. He told everybody he was fine. He was briefly examined by athletic training staff and went back and played. But Mike DeFee, the head umpire of this crew, went to Matt Rule and said, I think we need to take another look at this kid. They've done more evaluation on the sideline. They have now taken him into the locker room for further head evaluation.
All right, Holly, thanks.
That's smart. I mean, it's definitely smart to be safe in this case.
Especially given that he was clearly staggering when he got up off the field. Here's Bohannon, as he mentioned, he's a good runner, and he's powerfully built. He made a mistake there. He ran out of bounds a yard short of the line to make. Rather than try to get that extra yard and get the first down. He's 6'3", 221 pounds.
Yeah, I get running out of bounds and protecting your body when you can, but he's got to get that first down. Now, the good news for Baylor, he played half the game last week against Kansas and almost the entire 4th quarter against Texas. So he's played in some critical moments, particularly in that Texas game.
Hands it off. Good hole for John Lovett. And a first down. Will they give him that extra yardage? It appears they will. They're going to mark it at the 41, so he wasn't down on the original contact.
Really nice block by Connor Galvin. Watch number 76, the left tackle, just collapse this side of the Oklahoma defense. That time they caught Oklahoma in a late stunt, and it played into their favor. Oklahoma doing a lot of movement with their front. It's been effective. That time it hurt them.
Preston Ebner, Jamichael Hasty, the running backs. Ebner on the right of Bohannon, who's getting blitzed. Got it away to Jamichael Hasty, but it's for a loss. Brendan Radley-Hiles came on the blitz. And he's limping as he gets up, and he's going to head back to the sideline. Looked like they were checking him for a possible concussion earlier.
Boy, how many tackles for loss from this Oklahoma defense in the first half? I mean, that's been the story of the half for them. That's 6 now. Tackles behind the line of scrimmage, putting Baylor behind the chains. Second down and long here for the backup quarterback, Gary Bohannon.
Under 4.5 minutes to go until halftime. Time for Bohannon, short throw, and it's dropped by Josh Fleeks.
And still no catches or even targets for Denzel Mims, and that can't continue. I mean, you're in the game. You're down 7. He's your best receiver, your biggest mismatch in your favor, and you've not even gotten the football near him yet.
He caught 61 passes in the regular season. First team all Big 12. In the last 3 games against Oklahoma, he had 28 combined catches. 6 in the regular season meeting 3 weeks ago, and 11 in each of the 2 before that. Bohannon down the middle, almost intercepted. Trying to get it to Mims. Trey Brown dropped back into coverage and went off his fingertips.
And this is cover 2, so the corner's underneath, the safety's coming over the top. Another zone coverage, and well played by Trey Brown. Just nowhere to put that football, even though they tried to get it to Denzel that play.
We mentioned Baylor scored 31 points in the first half against Oklahoma in Waco 3 weeks ago. Didn't score in the second half. Have just 3 points and 33 yards of offense against Oklahoma today. Isaac Powers punt, a fair catch by CeeDee Lamb. Today's aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, recognizing those who strive to rise above the rest. Goodyear, more driven. Stay tuned at halftime for the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. The student who makes the most throws of the giant Dr. Pepper can will win $100,000 in tuition from Dr. Pepper.
Come in handy.
There was that giveaway when I was in college, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. After a fast start, a stagnant offense lately for Oklahoma, and that continues as Jalen Hurts throws an interception. Picked off by Jordan Williams. Second turnover committed by Hurts here in this first half.
Well, Lee Morris was the intended receiver, but watch number 84. He's going to slip and fall down. And when he gets back up, the underneath coverage was able to get in front of the throw and make the interception. Jordan Williams. That play didn't have a chance from the beginning because of the slip by Lee Morris. And again, this Baylor defense doing what they've done all year, taking the football away from opponents.
Immediate helmet sticker. Third interception of the season for the 5th-year senior from Paris, Texas. Jordan Williams, one of those guys who was here during the dark and ugly days a few years ago, elected to stay. He's being rewarded with an appearance in the championship game. Bohannon in trouble, sacked, and the ball comes popping out. I believe Mike DeFee's blowing the play dead, and he is.
Ruling on the field was that the runner was down by contact. Down by contact, second down.
This is just a play that Bohannon cannot make. You get the turnover. You've got great field position. Throw the football away. Look how loose he is with the football, too. I mean, he's very lucky that they're going to call this down, but even that, you can't take a loss of yardage play in this situation. You've got momentum, you've got field position, you've got your second turnover, and now another negative yardage play in your second and long. Can't do that.
Which takes them back to the edge of field goal range. Still no sign of Charlie Brewer, so the backup, Gary Bohannon, continues. That pass over the middle, batted down by Kenneth Murray.
Trying to get the ball to Denzel Mims. He was going to be open against the zone defense. Bohannon just didn't put enough air under it. And the ever-present Kenneth Murray able to get a hand on it. The negative yardage plays is the difference in this ballgame. It's a one-score game at 7-3. Both defenses have settled in. But 7 negative yardage plays for Oklahoma. The difference in the ballgame. Now you got to just get back into good field position for a field goal kick. Half this yardage to get in field goal range.
Well, 23 yards of offense. If they can get into the locker room within 4, that's a win for Baylor. They want more than that. To the end zone. Touchdown, Baylor Bears. Tyquan Thornton.
Credit Gary Bohannon for extending the play, buying time, stepping up in the pocket, and a breakdown in coverage by the safeties for Oklahoma led to the touchdown. Good poise by Bohannon.
John Mayers kicks the extra point to tie it. All 10 Baylor points have come off turnovers, 2 of them by Jalen Hurts, a lost fumble and an interception. Tied at 10 in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game. Tyquan Thornton, the touchdown catch. And we're tied at 10. Coming up next, the Capital One halftime report with Kevin DeGandhi, John Vilma, and Mark Sanchez. Noah Rauschenberg kicks off. Trey Brown will try it. Straight up the far hash marks. And he got stopped in his tracks at the 12-yard line. Ross Matisic made the tackle. Here's the Dr. Pepper spotlight.
We're not going to be able to see the 2 inside receivers, but I want you to watch these 2 guys for the Oklahoma defense as we run this play. Deshaun White is going to run deep, the linebacker, underneath the routes. Now, right here, here's Mims. Here's Thornton's going to run to the back. You're going to see the safety Fields come up towards Mims and lose that deep part of the field. And Gary Bohannon, after buying some time, is able to find him and get him the football. Mims has not caught a pass, but he was a factor on that play because it affected the Oklahoma defense.
There's an injured Sooner on the field. It's Trey Brown. We'll be right back. Just as Jalen Hurts wound up to throw, on the throw that wound up being the interception, we're saying the offense has gotten stagnant for Oklahoma, and boy has it. Sharp out of the gate. First 3 drives, 121 yards. Last 4 drives, 25 yards, and the 2 turnovers that have led to all 10 Baylor points. Here's Hurts surging ahead for about 8. Still plenty of time left, 2:45, and 3 timeouts left for each team.
You know, one thing that Baylor does with this 3-man front that I don't think I've seen anybody do this year, at least in games we've covered. Those 3 guys up front, a lot of times they'll all be standing up. They'll have 11 players in a 2-point stance. Nobody with their hand on the ground, kind of moving around, showing different looks. Not all the time, but occasionally you'll see all 11 guys in a stand-up position.
Gio Benaya, as you saw, just came in for Bravion Roy. And there's the sack from James Lynch. One of the 5 finalists for the Ted Hendricks Award as the best defensive end in the country. Just named the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year earlier this week.
Well, he just does a great job of using leverage, getting low, lowering that shoulder underneath Adrian Ely, the right tackle, and then using that power to get to the quarterback. He's a powerful guy, but Phil Snow said he's got a lot of finesse to him, too. That was a finesse move on that rush.
He was the first recruit Matt Rule went to see when he became the head coach of the Baylor Bears. With the program in disarray in Waco. They rush 3 again on 3rd down and 9, and still Hurts forced to move. Now help comes on the rush, and he has to throw it away.
And it was Lynch again. It's a 3-man rush. You think, well, we have 5 blockers. We should be okay. First, Lockhart is going to force Hurts to feel uncomfortable. So he leaves the pocket, and there's Lynch to chase him and not allow him to square his hips to make an accurate throw, and he has to throw the football away. This defensive front for Baylor is the strength of the team.
He's the all-time sack leader at Baylor. There's Reeves Munchau on the punt. And for as bad as it's been on offense for the Bears here in the first half, they have an excellent chance to grab the lead before halftime. Braylon Arnold, the fair catch of a 39-yard punt. Here's Holly.
Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator for these Baylor Bears, is a finalist for the Broyles Award, and he had lofty goals for his team before the season. He does all kinds of research, and he found out that if they could get 40 sacks and 30 takeaways takeaways, they could win 10 games or more. That was what his research said. So he challenged this defense. And guys, they have almost done it. I think that's their 41st sack of the season. They've got 29 takeovers, and they are doing exactly what he challenged them to do at the beginning of the season. Those numbers seem outrageous, and yet somehow they've been able to deliver.
Yeah, they have answered the bell, and they've gotten over the hump on both of those today.
No Trey Brown at cornerback, injured on the last kickoff return. Gary Bohannon, we mentioned he's an adept runner. He got to the Oklahoma 45-yard line. It's the freshman Jaden Davis, number 4, in at cornerback now, far side of the field.
Went with a quick snap. Oklahoma was not ready. They lined up quick, went quarterback sneak to get the first down. Right now, Baylor's got the momentum. They've got 3 timeouts, a minute left. They're going to get the ball to start the third quarter. Can you imagine if they could go into the locker room leading the way this game started?
They have 69 yards of offense. Now 70 as the official stats monitor is updated. Plenty of time for Bohannon. Throws it into a crowd. That had no chance. That time perhaps trying to force it into Mims to get him involved in the action.
See, I think it's hard throwing it to him down the field. I think they've got to throw a tunnel screen to him or get it to him on a reverse, something where he can touch the football, because right now down the field, Parnell Motley is kind of owning it. He's doing a great job, and he's taking on that challenge of covering the best receiver.
44 seconds to go in the half. The game tied at 10. The Big 12 championship game. Bohannon pulls it down and gets pulled down. Good tackle by Jalen Redden. Talented redshirt freshman. He's been questionable all week with an undisclosed medical issue. It's not related to
Baylor takes his first time out of the half
in the past. These two teams played 3 weeks ago in Waco. When they did, Baylor had 31 points at halftime, led 31-10, wound up losing the game. They didn't score in the second half. Yeah. And they've managed just 69 yards in the first half of this one. So that's almost a full game against Oklahoma with under 140 yards of offense. But they're in a 10-10 tie thanks to the defense and the 2 takeaways. Third down and 11. Pressure brought by Oklahoma. The backup quarterback Bohannon just throws it straight up in the air, and it is caught by Tyquan Thornton.
Sean, this is a case of a freshman cornerback, Jaden Davis, who has no idea the ball's in the air or how to make a play on the ball. That ball was thrown up for grabs. I mean, it looked like a punt.
Baylor takes their second timeout.
When you throw this route, you don't want it to float back to the inside of the field. You want it to stay outside. And Tyquan Thornton made a play on the ball. Look at the ball drift back inside, but the corner, Jaden Davis, had no idea where the football was. And therefore, Thornton was able to get in between 2 defenders and make a catch. The safety slipped, Turner Yell, and the corner was completely lost on the play. Remember, Trey Brown out of the game. That's why Jaden Davis is in there right now.
And Todd, you read my mind. That's exactly what I'm updating right now. Their nickel, Brendan Radley-Hiles, they have taken his helmet away. It does not look like he will be able to return right now. And then also Trey Brown is still out being evaluated. So 2 secondary members down, and it showed up on that last play for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and a couple freshmen have to play. I mean, Jaden Davis is a freshman corner. Jeremiah Cradell is the freshman nickel who takes Radley-Hiles play. So 2 freshmen in the secondary right now in a very difficult situation for the Sooners.
First and 10 at the 11. 1 timeout left in the half now for Baylor. Dominated for much of the half. But poised to take the lead.
Take a sack.
Bohannon.
Take a sack.
He has made some plays that have not looked very pretty, but they've been effective. And that time it was effective just to get the ball away.
You're in a good situation here to take the lead at the end of the half. You got 23 seconds, you're in field goal range, and you've got that 1 timeout in your back pocket, which you want to try to save so you don't have to run your field goal kicking team out in a hurry-up situation.
It was 3 for 9, but he threw the touchdown pass to Thornton. His second career touchdown pass. He's a redshirt freshman. 2nd and 10. Play fake to the end zone. Broken up. Intended for R.J. Sneed. And Delarian Turner-Yell had coverage.
Great play by Turner-Yell. I mean, that was a good throw, and I thought it was going to be a touchdown. It's single coverage. There's a blitz coming from the secondary, and a beautiful play by Turner-Yell getting a hand around and knocking the ball out.
Good news for Oklahoma. Trey Brown is back on the field. Starting cornerback. He had the signature play of their win in this Big 12 title game last year against Texas. A corner blitz. Sam Ellinger never saw him coming. Resulted in a safety.
Men's on Motley up here in the top.
Bohannon looks in that direction. Throws it too deep. Out of the back of the end zone. And they'll send the field goal team on to try to take the lead for the first time with 12 seconds to go in the first half.
Really good situational defense by the Sooners that time. They had their backs against the wall. They gave up the big play, and then they buckled down in the red zone. Got a nice play by Turner-Yell on 2nd down, and then Motley doing his thing on 3rd down to force a field goal instead of giving up a touchdown.
Now the redshirt freshman Mayers, who connected earlier from 44. This is the 28-yarder for the lead. And what a year he has had. And what a season Baylor has had. They have the lead with just 98 yards of offense. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe back in Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium. The Baylor Bears, the first Power 5 program to win 11 games within 2 seasons of losing 11 games. Trying to win 12 games in a season for the first time in school history under Matt Rule. But you have to think Todd will get a lot of votes for the National Coach of the Year with the turnaround job he has had. Inherited a program trying to dig out of an extended period of scandal. Boy, if they dug out of that a lot faster than most thought was possible. Charleston Rambo back for this kickoff after Brown was injured on the kickoff return not long ago. Rambo made it to the 28. And meanwhile, Charlie Brewer, the starting quarterback for Baylor, wobbly as he got up from this hit from Kenneth Murray, actually came back into the game briefly. They took a look at him on the sideline. They thought he was okay to go back in. Mike DeFee checked on him. He continued to stay in.
Kicking team number 6.
DeFee told the sideline, apparently, as Holly reported, that Brewer had to go for more evaluation. We haven't seen him since.
And that's the biggest story of the second half. Once we find out what the deal is with Charlie Brewer, that will dictate how Baylor tries to play.
Bohannon off the bench to get them the lead, to help them. Let's go to Holly.
Well, Coach Riley, most of their points coming off of turnovers. I saw you talk to Jalen after that last interception. How are you managing that with him right now?
Oh, we just got to play better. I mean, we hadn't played great offensively. Had a couple of good plays, a little bit of frustration there, but you know we can get going pretty quickly, and that's hopefully what we can do here second half.
CeeDee Lamb was loud early, quiet lately. What can you do to get him more involved?
Well, we got to play better around all around him. I mean, we got to get everybody involved better. We got to play better up front, coach better, everything the second half.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
At halftime, this Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game. Baylor leads Oklahoma 13-10. Back to the studio for the halftime report after these messages.
Welcome back to Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
The Oklahoma Sooners, the Baylor Bears, in the Big 12 championship.
Under pressure, spun around, and down he goes. Here goes Lamb across midfield, still going inside the 20. He handed it off here, and it's a touchdown for Kennedy Brooks. Picked off by Jordan Williams. Baylor, they want more than that. To the end zone. Touchdown, Baylor Bears. You're watching the 2019 Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game on ABC from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Strange first half in many ways. Baylor leads 13-10 despite just 98 yards of offense. Oklahoma got off to a strong start, then the offense sputtered. They committed 2 turnovers, which gave Baylor the chance to take the lead. Baylor will get the ball first to begin the second half. Gabe Burkich, the redshirt freshman, kicks off. And it's a touchback. A moment ago, Holly Rowe with Matt Rule.
Well, Coach, what do you know about the status of your quarterback, Charlie Brewer?
He's out. I think they're going to evaluate him and just make sure he's okay. So err on the side of caution, so he'll be out for the rest of the game.
Okay, so do you stay with Gary Bohannon? I know he's got good experience.
Yeah, he got banged up last week, didn't have a chance to practice a lot. I'm really proud of the way he's played so far. And Jacob Zeno's right there behind him. And you know what? I have a lot of confidence in those guys. Gary's taking us to 2 scoring drives, so we'll just keep letting it roll.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, whoever's playing quarterback, they got to figure out a way to be better on first down. They only averaged minus -0.3 yards per play on first down.
And right on cue, Josh Fleeks dropped for a loss by Larian Turner Yell. Well, they've already overcome so many odds, Baylor, to get here in so many ways. 1-11 2 years ago, so another obstacle to overcome. And it kind of ties into what Matt Rule said to his team during the week. Don't worry about everything that's at stake. Just go play football. And they have to do that with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, so, I mean, their defense has been spectacular. I mean, their defense, they're in the game, leading the game because of their defense. And now they've got to figure out how to do it in spite of their offense.
Bohannon elected to keep it. And as he turned the corner, he got hit hard by Pat Fields. Not the biggest defensive back in the country at 5'11", 192, but he's delivered a couple of big hits.
Well, another third down and long situation. Both teams struggled on third down in that first half, mainly because of long yardage situations. So now your backup quarterback with a very difficult third down play pretty far back in his own territory. He's got to be smart with the football here.
Gary Bohannon played in 8 games in the regular season. In relief of Charlie Brewer. Forced backwards, throws it over the middle dangerously again, and it's batted away by Trey Brown. There is a flag down. Neville Gallimore had good pressure on Bohannon.
Holding. Offense number 55. That penalties decline. 4th down.
Well, we get the call on the right guard. Watch as the stunt comes in here. That's where the holding is going to be called on Xavier Newman-Johnson. He reaches out and grabs. Gallimore's the guy that got the pressure, and such a dangerous throw. Just said you got to be smart with the ball. That was not a very smart decision by Bohannon, but he got away with it.
He's gotten away with a few in his limited time in this game. Isaac Power will punt. Get the feeling if Bohannon continues to throw it up for grabs, it's just a matter of time before it hurts Baylor. Fair catch made by C.D. Lamb. Oklahoma will start at its own 31-yard line. And we'll take a look at today's Pacific Life game summary. Charlie Brewer wasn't particularly effective before he got injured. He was
false start.
Hitting the head on that play, not hit by Murray. His head hit the ground. Jalen Hurts, after a fast start, turned it over a couple of times, lost the fumble, threw an interception. That led to 10 Baylor points. The only touchdown for Baylor on the pass by Bohannon off the bench. It was on 3rd down and 20. On first play of the second half for Oklahoma, Kennedy Brooks around the corner and out of bounds with a gain of 4.
You know, the MO for this Oklahoma offense down the stretch has been to really rely on the running game between Kennedy Brooks and Jalen Hurts. You wonder if in this second half they're going to try to get that established a little more effectively, see if they can wear down this Baylor defense.
Jalen Hurts sidestepped the rush, throws on the run, open man, Charleston Rambo taken out of bounds. But with a first down for Oklahoma in the Baylor territory at the 46.
Beautiful job by Hurts eluding the pressure. They had Lockhart working on a running back on that protection, and Hurts alertly saw it and was able to slip in around it to get protection.
Hurts checks it down to Kennedy Brooks. And And he is stopped at the 42. Here's Holly.
A developing story for this Oklahoma offensive line. They are without their right tackle, Adrian Ely, who I saw go to the locker room just before the half limping. He has been battling a knee injury. So in comes Eric Swenson, number 77 at right tackle. He's been banged up as well, hasn't played the last 2 weeks. But they are really running out of guys on this front for Oklahoma right now.
R.J. Proctor playing left tackle today, largely because Swenson couldn't go at the start. At least they didn't want to play him. He's had a shoulder injury reportedly. Jalen Hurts stopped at the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Another 3rd down play. Again, both teams struggling on 3rd down. Baylor 3 of 11. Oklahoma 1 for 6 so far in the ball game. That was the one area Phil Snow said we have to be better. So far they have been.
Only Ohio State, Air Force, and Alabama better on 3rd down all year than Oklahoma. They convert on this one. Dumped off to Austin Stogner. That's a 1st down inside the 30-yard line at the 28.
Beautiful design. Different formation. They're going to slip Stogner right out this way. They're going to play fake, show run, and slip the backside running back out. And it kind of fooled the Baylor defense. Excellent design on that 3rd down play by Lincoln Riley.
Stogner, true freshman from just up the road in Plano, Texas. Very highly recruited. Top 100 recruit in the country. Jalen Hurts. Back across the line of scrimmage. Baylor defense has done a lot of things well. And one of them has stopped the run from Jalen Hurts now. That's 12 rushes for 8 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he ran all over him that first time. 27 carries, 114 yards. He threw the ball really well and clearly was the difference in the ball game, particularly in the second half.
Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator, been around, 63 years old, California native. Was with Matt Rule at Temple, like most of the staff came with Coach Rule from Philadelphia to Waco. Did an unbelievable job building up the Temple program. And they've done the same sort of work here at Baylor. Nifty run, Ramondre Stevenson, the junior college transfer. Down to the 14-yard line, and Oklahoma is on the move.
Watch the center again, Creed Humphrey. Little zone play. Watch him get to the next level. Get the block on the inside linebacker, Bernard. Sizes him up, squares him up. And Stevenson runs right behind that block. CeeDee Lamb at the top up here.
Hurts looked in that direction, forced to pull it down. Some quick pressure. Chidi Obanaya. And Blake Lynch made the tackle after a short gain.
Wiley was reporting on the changes with that offensive line. Bill Beatonbow is one of the best offensive line coaches in all of college football. Last year, this offensive line won the Joe Moore Award, outstanding, and he's had to kind of piece it together all season.
Hurts takes off and gets stopped at the 10. The ball squirts out, but I believe the official on the near sideline is calling it down. The line judge, Frank LeBlanc.
Bruno feels that the runner was down prior to the ball coming out.
It kind of looked like his left knee was down before it came out, but again, the only negative trend, actually, his arm was down as well. But putting the ball on the ground, just for Jalen Hurts, that's just been too much this year. Had a brilliant year, but that has been the Achilles heel for him so far.
Come in spurts, as we've seen today. He's turned it over 5 times in the 2 games against Baylor. Lofts it up, but there are whistles stopping the play.
Prior to the snap, Oklahoma takes their first time out of the half.
With a nice drive underway. 10th play of the drive and a big one when we come back. Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Third down and 8 for Oklahoma, trailing 13-10. Jalen Hurts with great patience, and now he runs down to the 6-yard line. Short of the first down, and they're going to send the field goal team out to tie it.
It was a good stop by the Baylor defense. They needed a stop there. It was a pretty decent drive going. And they bowed their neck, just like we've seen Oklahoma's defense bow their neck. I mean, both defenses have played outstanding. For Oklahoma, it's been creating negative plays, and for Baylor, it's been critical stops on third down and takeaways.
Burkich made all 15 field goals this season, and now 16 as he connects from 24 yards. That's the longest field goal streak to start a career in Oklahoma history. Tied at 13 in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game.
The Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game on ABC is brought to you by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. In part by Dickies Workwear, yours to make. Go to dickies.com to learn more. And Bright House Financial, build for what's ahead.
Oklahoma's won the Big 12 championship game the last 2 years. This conference did away with the championship game from 2011 through 2016 and brought it back in 2017. This one tied at 13. First Big 12 championship game was back in 1996. This is the 18th edition. Baylor in the game for the first time. Oklahoma for the 11th time, trying to win it for the 10th time. Burkich. His kickoff is a touchback. We talked about the history of Baylor in this decade. Art Briles had it rolling back when they didn't have a title game. They were the back-to-back regular season Big 12 champions. Then the investigation into the handling of sexual violence allegations on campus began, many of them involving football players. It led to the resignation of Ken Starr. Chancellor Art Briles fired. Ian McCaw, the athletic director, departed as well. And it was a job a lot of people didn't want.
And a lot of told him not to take it also.
He was coming off back-to-back 10-win seasons at Temple, but Matt Rule embraced the challenge. 1-11 his first year, 7-6 last year, 11-1 this year. As we mentioned earlier, the first Power 5 team to win 11 games within 2 seasons of losing 11. And rumors now that he's built this up, that NFL teams have interest, and certainly they do. Other colleges might. He said, you know what? I didn't stick around at Temple long enough to really enjoy the fruits of that labor. My family loves it in Waco. And he has a good thing going there. I didn't get the sense he's in any hurry to leave. On 2nd and 10, Gary Bohannon throws incomplete, trying to get it to Chris Platt.
I think the same thing's true for Lincoln Riley. You know, it seems like every year this time of year, everybody starts talking about him going to the NFL and what a great fit he'd be. And
right here.
Yeah, right.
Well, most of those rumors about will Lincoln be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and that was ongoing before this season even began. It's louder now, obviously, with the speculation about Jason Garrett's future getting louder and louder. Very bright young coach. Historically, one of the best starts to a career in college football history. He's 35-5 as the Oklahoma head coach, defending 3rd down and 10. Ronnie Perkins puts the pressure on. And Bohannon, to me, Todd, just looks like a guy who's a little jittery. Understandably so.
And he's a little limited. You know, I don't think he's seeing the whole field. I think he's looking 1 or 2 places. Jacob Zeno, the 3rd string quarterback. He actually played last week against Kansas because Bohannon got banged up in that game. And so he got some playing time and mop-up duty. But they like both these young quarterbacks, but they're in a tough spot right now against this Oklahoma D.
Regular long snapper Ross Matisic is back in there. He was out for a while, and his stand-in for Rodoni handled the snaps. Powers punt and a fair catch by CeeDee Lamb. You're watching the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game on ABC. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear from end zone to end zone. Goodyear, more driven. And tomorrow, the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff matchups. Which 4 teams will be in? Semifinals are the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl on Saturday, December 28th. Reese and the guys will also have the New Year's 6 bowl matchups. 4-hour special starting at noon Eastern tomorrow on ESPN and the ESPN app. Tied at 13 in the Big 12 title game. And Jalen Hurts runs out of bounds after a 2-yard pickup. Here's this week's college football rankings, brought to you by AT&T. As we mentioned, Todd, when we came on the air, with Utah losing in the Pac-12 title game to Oregon last night, that takes them out of the equation. We both believe if Georgia loses tonight to LSU, the winner of this game, Oklahoma or Baylor, will be in.
Yeah. Yep, that's what we thought coming in, and now this game is taking kind of a funny twist to it.
Well, that is the question. It's been kind of an ugly game. You wonder about style points, if that's important in the committee room, if it comes to some evaluation of one of these teams. Nick Basquin the catch, short of the first down. Here's 3rd down and 2 as we approach 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Words rarely spoken at the Big 12 title game. A defensive battle.
Braylon Arnold made that tackle and stayed on the sideline. They're looking at him right now, and they're helping him to the bench at the end of that play. He's one of their starters at safety, the field safety, a very important position in their defense.
And he's a stalwart, redshirt junior, 25th career start. J.T. Woods is in for him. Jalen Hurts throws, open CeeDee Lamb, out of bounds, first down in the Baylor territory at the 49-yard line.
They brought CD in motion. It was only a 2-man route. That was 7-man protection, trying to protect the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. And they sent Lamb out on a wheel route, and he was open on the sideline. They got him the football.
5 catches. All 5 times they've targeted him, they have completed the pass. He had a big 71-yard catch and run in the first half. Here's another big run. Ramonde Stevenson up and over. It was Chris Miller who sent him into the air, but it's good for a 17-yard run to the 32.
Watch the combo in the center and right guard. Humphrey and Robinson. They just kind of exchange and open up a massive hole. Also a nice block by Jeremiah Hall, number 27, kind of cutting off the backside. That was a huge hole in this Baylor defense.
Here's Stevenson. Known as a powerful runner, but showed some nifty maneuverability there. Taken down by Kalen Barnes, the sophomore cornerback, number 12.
This is kind of what I thought Lincoln might do. Try to get back to running the football, taking some steam out of this Baylor defense, and then be able to hit them with a play action with maximum protection when they feel it's the right time.
I wonder if fatigue will set in. It looked like Baylor got very tired on defense the second half of that regular season game against Oklahoma. They've been on the field for about 10 minutes more than the Oklahoma defense here today. Stevenson, the ball carrier, again to the 20-yard line.
Well, that's one of the things Phil Snow told us yesterday. He said, you know, the one thing that we're doing better now is we're rotating our defensive people more, especially our linemen. Those guys played upwards of 75 plays in that first game because we couldn't get off the field on 3rd down, and we did wear down, especially our big guys up front, so we have to rotate. So they've been doing that tonight. They've been trying to keep those starting 3, Lynch, Roy, and Lockhart, fresh as they possibly can.
Kennedy Brooks back in that running back. Design run it seemed for Hurts. Broke 1 tackle, but couldn't break free from the ankle tackle of Chidi Obanaya.
TJ Franklin, one of those subs, the true freshman out of Temple, Texas, was the first guy to slow him up, made a nice move into the backfield to bring up another 3rd down situation. Third down and 6. They are in field goal range at the very least to
try to reclaim the lead. They bring pressure. Does Phil Snow. Hurts to the end zone, and it is caught. A twisting catch by Nick Basquin, and Oklahoma goes back on top.
Lincoln Riley took advantage of the injury to Graylin Arnold. He was working on J.T. Woods. This is the new guy in the game. Woods is in. They go single coverage. Little slot fade over the outside shoulder. They found the matchup they wanted with the substitution, and they went after it for the touchdown.
Nick Basquin, a fifth-year senior, has had some Achilles injuries along the way. Just his third career touchdown. The other two were both back in 2016. What a time to get his third. And Burkich adds the extra point. Oklahoma back up by 7. First touchdown catch of the day, or pass of the day rather, from Jalen Hurts. We invite you to check out the Target Command Center coverage on the ESPN app and ESPN3. A lot of stats on your screen. Skycam provides you the viewpoint. You get to look at the two head coaches. Or you can keep it right where you are. This is turned into a entertaining football game, especially if you like defense. A lot on the line. Jermichael Hasty brings the kickoff back for Baylor across the 30. Here's Cassidy Hubbard. We'll go to Cassidy in a minute. There's some flags. We're going to sort that out.
Didn't Mike DeFee used to be your workout partner?
Yeah.
You used to train with him. So.
Grab the curl bar.
After the play, personal foul, necessary roughness. Return team number 35. 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. First down.
Tristan Slinker. Now here's Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Sean. Conference USA Championship game, UAB, Florida Atlantic. Chris Robinson to D'Angelo Antoine, 75-yard connection. Florida Atlantic up 14-3 in possibly Lane Kiffin's last game as head coach of the Owls. Sean, Todd, back to you.
How about that, Todd? Yeah. Lane Kiffin widely reported to be heading to Ole Miss.
Yeah. Lane, the one thing about it, he's kind of been a lightning rod for a lot of things, but he is a good football coach and as good a play caller offensively as there is in college football.
It'll certainly make things even more interesting in the SEC West. Here's Gary Bohannon.
Have to find some offense, right? I mean, they got to figure out something they can do with this guy at quarterback. That's probably their best first down play they've had all game. They've got to find some things that he can do, that he can be comfortable with, and try to get themselves in some third down situations where it's 4 yards or less. As he's not going to be able to make the plays you need consistently on 3rd and 7, 8, 9, 10.
We got 4 on the run. He used him a lot as a runner this year. He handed it off to Jermichael Hasty. And that's a first down. They had just 1 yard of offense in this quarter. Prior to this possession, that's a 13-yard run for Hasty, another fifth-year senior.
Well, watch this, man. He's just going to get up the field too far. And Hasty's going to slip right inside of him. There's nobody blocking him. And then Kenneth Murray, who doesn't miss many tackles, took a bad angle and missed it.
By his hair, which is legal. Crowd's just seeing that replay now and responding to it.
Another negative yardage play on first down.
Hasty tackled more conventionally that time by David Okwebo. Just joining us, Charlie Brewer, the starting quarterback for Baylor, left the game in the first half. Took a hard hit from Kenneth Murray. His helmet and head slammed off the turf. He actually returned to the game briefly, even though it was clear he was wobbly when he got up from that hit. Taken for further evaluation and has not returned since. Bohannon Tackled around the legs by Kenneth Murray. Todd, I do think the Baylor people at the end of the game are going to have to answer some questions about why Brewer went back into the game so quickly.
Yeah, you know the kid's going to want to go back in, and he's always going to say he's fine and wants to play and wants to compete. But, yeah, that'll be interesting as they sort that out. And this is not a good sign for Oklahoma fans or Alex Grinch, his best player on the field.
Kenneth Murray down. Will be back in 30 seconds. Kenneth Murray still down for Oklahoma. Leader of that defense, junior linebacker from Missouri City, Texas.
He made a great play running from his linebacker position and landed on the back of the legs, on the heels of Bohannon, the quarterback.
Immediately grabbed at his midsection. That's what they're looking at, with Murray still down on the field with 1:18 to go in the third quarter, and Oklahoma leading Baylor 20-13 in this Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game.
They can ill afford to lose him. I mean, he is the kind of the heart and soul. And when we talk to Alex Grinch, says when we're at our best, he is at his best. I mean, that's when we play our best football, when he's doing his thing. And good to see him up on his own power coming off the field.
Their leading tackler for the year, third-year starter. He started every game of his career at Oklahoma. Today, his 40th in a row. Brian Meade comes back in for him. He wears number 38.
Well, again, another third down and long situation for Gary Bohannon. Baylor 3 of 12 on third down. The majority of them have been this kind of down and distance.
The last play by Murray, 11 tackles for a loss today by Oklahoma. Another area in which they're much improved over the past. Looks like Murray's okay now, standing on the sideline. Bohannon sacked. Jalen Redmond got enough of him to get him down at the 28-yard line.
Nice job by Redmond using his hands. He lined up inside, and he's going to stunt to the outside. Watch Redmond. He's right here. He's just going to move this way, but watch him use his hands to get free of the block. The left guard, Khalil Keith, trying to block him. He did a nice job just fighting around the corner and getting to the pressure.
Isaac Power, short punt. And it takes a bad bounce for Baylor. Just about 10 yards back in the wrong direction for the Bears, and it goes out of bounds at midfield. Kick off your Week 14 NFL Sunday with ESPN and the ESPN app at 9 a.m. Eastern. All the early breaking stories, previews of every game right up until kickoff, and then we'll cap off Week 14 of the NFL's 50th season of Monday Night Football on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the app. At 8 Eastern time, the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles need a win to move into a tie for first place with the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East.
Perfect situation and time right now to maybe take a shot down the field and see if they can put a dagger in.
There's Kennedy Brooks. Popped to the turf at the 44 on what will likely be the final play of the third quarter.
That's the end of the third quarter.
ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Jessica Shambach, weekdays on KOCO 5 News.
As we head to the fourth quarter here in Arlington, Texas, time for today's Aflac trivia question. We want to know which was the last team to win the Big 12 championship outright other than Oklahoma or Baylor.
I got to believe our sideline reporter, who is everything Big 12, does the Big 12 radio show. I got to believe she knows the answer.
He probably does know that. Second down and 4. Oklahoma at the Baylor 44, leading by 7, trying to win their 5th straight Big 12 title. And that play goes for a loss. Kennedy Brooks stopped by Jordan Williams, and here's another very big third down play.
Yeah, you almost get the feeling, Sean, the way this game is going, that if the Baylor defense can't get another turnover or really flip the field in a major way, it's going to be hard to win.
It looked like they were lined up and ready to go, but they're putting pressure on Hurts, who dumps it off to Kennedy Brooks with all kinds of running room down the far sideline. And a first down for Oklahoma to the 26.
Just a beautiful job by Hurts, buying more time, just patiently stepping away from Lockhart. Lockhart's going to get inside pressure, and Hurts doesn't panic, just kind of drifts away and then finds his dump off to Kennedy Brooks.
19-yard gain. Oklahoma's won 51 games in a row when leading after the third quarter. Trying to make that 52. Brooks stopped at the 23. The last time they lost a game when leading after the third quarter was back in 2014, December that year. Led Oklahoma State by 14 entering the fourth quarter, lost in overtime. Hurts could not sidestep the traffic behind the line of scrimmage. Dropped for a loss of 1.
Baylor was waiting on that. They brought their safety, Henry Black, right up to the line of scrimmage. They outnumbered Oklahoma on that quarterback draw, anticipating that play on second down and another third and long.
Braylon Arnold has returned to the game in the secondary. That's big for Baylor. Oklahoma, after going 1 for 6 on third down in the first half, 4 out of 5 on third down here in the second half. They are in field goal range to take a 2-score lead. Hurts all day to throw against that 3-man rush. Wide open. C.D. Lamb inside the 10. And dropped at the 7 by Blake Lynch.
Great job by C.D. Lamb recognizing coverage. He saw zone coverage, so instead of continuing to cross the field, he sat down right in the middle. Watch C.D. Lamb. When he sees the zone, he's going to settle down right there in the middle. Turn his numbers to the quarterback, not run through the coverage, and Hurts able to find him for the first down.
.141 yards receiving for C.D. Lamb. The 6th time this year he's had at least 135 yards receiving in a game. Jalen Hurts powers his way inside the 5. And it took 3 men to stop him. Some pushing and shoving between Willis and Miller.
Sean, Matt Rule was on the sideline before that ball was snapped, holding up his hands in a symbol to say quarterback run, quarterback run. And it didn't matter. I mean, Jalen Hurts, again, just shows his power when he runs. Even if Baylor knows it's coming, sometimes his strength and power, particularly his lower body power, is what gains yards when more yards and plays are blocked for.
In no hurry, already leading by a touchdown. On second and goal. Brooks smothered back at the 7 by James Lynch, who with 2 sacks today has 12.5 for the year. That is the single season record. His family here enjoying that. He broke the record set by Sean Oakman of 11 sacks back in 2014. There's his mother Sherry, who we're told is about as vocal a fan as you will find in college football. Long fake by Hurts into the end zone and off the hands of Braden Willis. You know, last year in situations like this, Todd, in that game, we saw them throw the ball to Grant Calcaterra. Yep. That was a big loss for Oklahoma this year. Terrific tight end who had to give up football after repeated head injuries. He scored 2 touchdowns in this game last year.
They tried to fool him on that one. They tried to show block, but Chris Miller was not fooled. He was there in coverage, and Jalen had to try to put the ball in an outside place, and that's why it was incomplete. Good coverage by Chris Miller.
A big kick here for Burkich, who's made now all 17 kicks of his career, all 17 field goals, adding to the longest streak in Oklahoma history. 24-yarder and a 10-point lead for the Sooners. Time to answer our Aflac trivia question. We wanted to know the last team to win the Big 12 championship outright other than these 2 teams playing today. Todd Blackledge said Holly Rowe would know the answer. Holly, do you know the answer?
I do. It was Oklahoma State. They had a fantastic quarterback that year named Brandon Whedon. We thought they should have made the BCS. They beat Oklahoma in Bedlam to clinch that title, a game that we were at, freezing our you-know-what's off in Stillwater.
It's almost unfair. Holly hosts Big 12 today on satellite radio. She knows everything there is to know about the Big 12. Gabe Burkich with a touchback.
Well, this Oklahoma defense has been outstanding today. Only 111 yards, and they do it a lot by stunning and twisting. Some of it late movement. They really just completely mess things up for Baylor on first down in particular. They just can't generate positive run plays, positive yardage on first down, but the stunts and the twists have been effective in both the run and the pass. 111 yards. This is an offense, Baylor, coming in averaging 445 yards a game, and now they're going to their 3rd quarterback. Jacob Zeno is in the ball game to see if they can throw the football now against Baylor. In commercial, Sean, we both said the same thing. It's probably time to try something different.
He's only played 1 game in college, and it was last week, but why not? And he gets tripped up. Another play behind the line of scrimmage by the Oklahoma defense. It's Isaiah Thomas, redshirt sophomore from Tulsa, with his 2nd sack of the season.
Thomas was working on a tight end. That time he was working on Henley and just came on an inside stunt and then followed it to the quarterback and got the sack. And again, that's been the story for this Oklahoma defense today. Tackles behind the line of scrimmage, putting Baylor behind the chains, particularly on first down.
13 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Zeno. Nifty throw and a catch. Tristan Ebner off to the races. Tristan Ebner to the end zone. Jacob Zeno. Just his 4th collegiate pass. They've all come in the last 2 games. 3 for 3 against Kansas last Saturday in Lawrence. And now a strike to Ebner. And it ends up an 81-yard touchdown, and they're right back in the game.
Kenneth Murray, who has played beautifully today, got caught peeking in the backfield and did not maintain coverage responsibility, and the result was a Baylor touchdown.
And the extra point is good.
Oklahoma's leading tackler, Kenneth Murray, is going to be right in the middle of the defense, right here. Here's Ebner. He's going to just release right down the middle of the field, and watch Murray just get fixed on the quarterback, and Ebner runs right by him. They get the ball over his head, and then Ebner shows breakaway speed. He's been bothered by a leg injury since week 2. They said this is the healthiest he's been, and you can see the burst that he has. He was recruited as a wide receiver. He moved to running back, has excellent ball skills, and he showed some speed there as well.
81-yard play, longest all season for the Baylor Bears. Jacob Zeno's 1st career touchdown pass in his 2nd game on his 4th college pass. He's a true freshman from San Antonio. Highly recruited, 4-star recruit, number 137 in the entire country at any position. John Jay High School, about 4 hours away from here.
What a shot of life that play has a chance to interject in this Baylor team.
Barry Bohannon had a hard time getting anything going with the Baylor offense. Really, the same was true of Charlie Brewer, the starter. So they're on to the 3rd string quarterback. What an impact. Here's Cassidy Hubbard.
They Sean, and now for today's All-State Mayhem moment. Conference USA Championship game. FAU's Tyreek Tisdale blocks the punt, and Eddie Williams scoops and scores, which makes it a 28-3 lead for the Owls in the second. Sean, Todd, back to you.
All right, Cassidy, thanks. So a little more game pressure now on Oklahoma. I think that was a shock to everybody with the way the Baylor offense has played all day. They have 186 yards of offense, 81 of those on the last play. Kennedy Brooks, plenty of running room again. He's ahead 4-9, and we're down to 9.5 minutes to go in this Big 12 championship game.
And we saw a picture of a guy on the sideline earlier, Trey Sermon. It used to be Trey Sermon and Kennedy Brooks kind of shared the running back position. Sermon was hurt at the Iowa State game, out for the rest of the season. Now it's pretty much Sermon is the main, or is the Kennedy Brooks is the go-to guy. We've seen Stevenson also as the backup.
Brooks spun around, looks like he got just enough for the first down.
Trey Sermon was their leading rusher, or had almost 1,000 yards a year ago, and they were a really good 1-2 punch. We saw them early in the year, the first game against Houston, and they were both effective in that football game.
Kennedy Brooks has become the leading man, as he did last year. Lincoln Riley told us at the start of last season it was really their 4th or 5th running back, and he wound up averaging 8.87 yards per carry in a tremendous year. Jalen Hurts, plenty of time, looking deep, couldn't find anybody, and scoots out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line.
See, the thing about being able to rush 3 and get pretty decent pressure on a consistent basis that Baylor's able to do, that allows you to do a lot of different things with your coverage, whether it's man or zone or combination things with 8 guys back in coverage. And that time, everybody covered up. Jalen Hurts waited as long as he could before he had to leave the pocket and pick up 4 yards.
This time Baylor crowds the line of scrimmage. Hurts got it off. Another first down. Ramondre Stevenson across midfield and powers ahead to the 47-yard line.
Ramondre Stevenson just kind of snuck out that time. Watch Stevenson come from this side of the backfield. He's going to go right in the line and almost duck like he's hiding. And then he's going to slip into the back, in the middle of the defense. Ducks, gets up, and gets behind the linebacker for the completion.
Junior out of Las Vegas. Newcomer to Oklahoma. He's out of Cerritos Junior College. Stevenson again. No gain this time, and we're halfway through the 4th quarter now.
I think you'll see Lincoln Riley have Jalen Hurts take lots of time here. You know, keep your foot on the pedal. Don't get complacent, but don't be in a hurry. Use the clock to your advantage. You know your defense has played lights out. They've given up a couple plays, just kind of fluky kind of plays. You got another freshman quarterback in the game. Use the clock.
Pressure up the middle. Kennedy Brooks ran past that. Turned it into a gain of a couple as James Lynch missed. And he hasn't done that very often during his time at Baylor. Here's a mammoth 3rd down play.
I would say this might be the play of the game for Baylor's defense right here. Under 7 minutes. Your 3rd string quarterback in. You're in the game down 3. You got to get a stop here just inside the 50.
Not in field goal range. And you wouldn't think they would go for it unless they got much closer to the line to gain than the 9 yards they have to make right now. They stick with the 3-man rush. Hurts across the line, shoved out of bounds. A gain of a yard. It's 4th down, and Lincoln Riley has a decision to make.
Oh, you got to punt the football, Sean. Your defense has played lights out. I mean, you got to play complementary football right now. Pin them down and let your defense continue to win the game for you.
Well, last year there was no way in this game we would have said lean on your defense when we talked about Oklahoma.
What a turnaround. And not just today. I mean, all season. They have had their moments where it started to go sideways on them, but by and large, incredible improvement from last year.
Leaves Munchau to punt. And a fair catch made by Braylon Arnold at the 10-yard line. 23-20 Oklahoma.
The Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game on ABC is brought to you by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. In part by Pacific Life, 150 years strong, protection and retirement solutions for your future. And Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Some terrific views of today's action through the Dr. Pepper Pylon Cam.
Sean, if you're Baylor, Tyquan Thornton has 2 catches. Denzel Mims has 0. Can you find a way to get those 2 guys the football with Jacob Zeno? And then if I'm Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma, I'm going to put some heat on this guy. I'm going to see how he handles pressure in his face.
This guy is Jacob Zeno, just came off the bench. He's on target again. What an arm he has displayed, and they finally get a ball to their leading receiver, Denzel Mims. His first catch of the game, good for 18 yards. There is a flag back near the line of scrimmage.
You know, they might call lineman downfield.
Eligible downfield, offense number 61. The 5-yard penalty, first down.
Khalil Keith, it's an RPO, which means the line is blocking run, and the quarterback and receivers are adjusting the pass. Watch Khalil Keith. He's blocking run. He's going to get beyond 4 yards here. He's going to get all the way down the field here in the block, and the ball is thrown. That's an easy penalty to call, and the correct call. And that's the problem when you run RPOs. Those linemen, they're just doing their job.
It's a gray area that has a lot of coaches annoyed, but there was nothing gray about that. He was way down the field. But what an arm Zeno has displayed.
Matt Rule's very upset by that call, but that was the right call.
No way!
5:45 to go. The Big 12 championship on the line. Welcome back to the 2019 Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game. Oklahoma leading Baylor 23-20 here in the 4th quarter as we continue Dr. Pepper championship drive. With Baylor in possession of the ball after the penalty and a timeout. Matt Rule was hot with the officials the entire time. During that timeout, 1st and 15 from their own 5. True freshman Jacob Zeno just entered the game. Showing off a strong arm, and he's on target again. It's Chris Platt all the way to the 10-yard line. Now, we had a hard time identifying him because he's usually number 14, but you can't have 2 14s in the game. Zeno's number 14, so Platt had to switch to 12.
They did a great job faking the bubble screen. Platt looked like he was going to block and then turned upfield and showed the speed. Well-designed play during that timeout. And a big chunk play that the Baylor offense desperately needed. And how about the poise and the arm talent of Jacob Zeno?
Every ball he has thrown has been a rocket on target. He threw an 81-yard touchdown. That's an 80-yard play. And they're in field goal range at the very least with 5 minutes to go. Treston Ebner stopped by Delarian Turner-Yell. The 81-yard touchdown was the longest play given up by Oklahoma since 2015, and now they come back with an 80-yard play.
What a great design of the play. Excellent play call that time by Jeff Nixon, co-offensive coordinator.
4.5 to go. The winner of the Big 12 champion, and if Georgia loses tonight, very likely into the college football playoff. Treston Ebner, room outside. And a good tackle by Pat Fields at the 10-yard line.
Wasn't a very good job by Nick Bonito, who had the game-saving interception in the game in Baylor a couple weeks ago. That time he did not set the edge of the defense, came inside and enabled Ebner to get outside very easily. I believe that was a mistake, him moving inside on that play instead of taking care of the edge of the defense.
Play playing without Brendan Radley-Hiles. Starting defensive back. Of course, Baylor playing with its third-string quarterback. Already a legendary performance. This is the kind of performance you put your name in the books forever. On the run, he throws too high. Looking for Chris Platt, who now has no name on his back.
They try to roll the quarterback, get a little mesh, a little rub route. Good coverage that time by Turner Yell, I think, that was in there.
So now Mayers, we talked about how this redshirt freshman's been clutch all year. He's 2 for 2 today. He's trying to tie it with a 28-yarder with 3.5 to go. Now it looks like it'll be 27 as they set up. Skyler Wetzel, the holder. The kick is good, right down the middle. 3:25 to go. Baylor and Oklahoma tied at 23.
23 all back here at the Big 12 Championship. That last big play, I want to show you what a beautiful play. This receiver here is going to fake screen. He's going to lead. This is Platt. He's going to show block and then go down the field. And when he shows block, this safety is going to go with him. The only guy that can make a play is the backside safety, Pat Fields. And he does not get a good angle. And Chris Platt makes the first catch of the game. 78 yards worth. And Baylor is able to tie the football game up with the field goal. Beautiful design.
Noah Rauschenberg kicks off. And it's a touchback. There's another Pacific Life game summary. And Jacob Zeno, the man of the hour, he has come in to ignite Baylor. They played in only one game in his career, his last week at Kansas in mop-up duty. They won the game 61-6. He threw 3 passes in that game and rushed twice. Completed all 3. He's 2 out of 3 today, an 81-yard touchdown. Then that 78-yard play Todd just showed you to set up the field goal. And not the least bit overwhelmed by the circumstances. I mean, he has leaned back and fired. There's a flag down. You'd expect that to be a holding call based on the fact it was thrown by the umpire back toward the pit. Kennedy Brooks carried for 12.
I think they're going to get R.J. Proctor with the hold, number 73, the left tackle.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
R.J. Proctor. Meanwhile, Kennedy Brooks and Chris Miller are still down.
Yeah, it was a hard collision right in the middle of the field with helmet contact. Remember, we talked about Chris Miller's already had 3 targeting fouls on the year. He goes in with his shoulder that time. He didn't lead with his helmet, so he did the right thing there. Kennedy Brooks lowered his head. Just a hard physical collision at the end of that run.
Miller walks off, and Kennedy Brooks still down. You can see that they're grabbing at the back of his neck.
Again, there's Trey Sermon, who was lost after the Iowa State game. Ramondre Stevenson, who we've seen a decent amount of today, will be the guy in there now.
It's good to see Brooks has been moving his legs. I think that was at the request of the medical staff. He kicked both legs up into the air a moment ago. Looks like now they're ready to help him up. Thank goodness.
You know, these are 2 physical football teams, especially defensively. You know, it's one of those deals where for years everybody said, well, they don't play any defense in the Big 12. Well, they're starting to play a little better defense. I mean, you've got Iowa State that plays good defense. These 2 teams are the 2 best in the league right now playing defense.
So these are 2 very good defensive teams. Much improved, both of them. Baylor's giving up more than 13 points per game fewer than a year ago. That was the 4th biggest improvement in the country. We chronicled earlier Oklahoma's dramatic improvement. I mean, last year their offense was historically great, but the defense was so bad that the committee had to ponder leaving them out of the college football playoff because the defense was worst in the country against the pass. The committee won't have to worry about that this year if Oklahoma is under consideration.
Well, this is going to fall on Jalen Hurts now. He's had magical moments in conference championship games like last year when he came off the bench, and this game is falling squarely on his shoulders right now. With 3:16 left in a tie ball game, this is what he came to Oklahoma for. Opportunity to do something like this. Win a championship and hopefully get his team into the college football playoff.
Please set the game clock to 3:23. Number 3 on the defense was injured on the prior play. He had to leave. Set the clock to 3:23 and start it on my signal.
And the reason Mike DeFee made that announcement is Chris Miller actually ran back onto the field, wanted to play this snap, but he has to come out.
If you're Baylor's defense now, you've got to handle the 1-2 punch of Oklahoma. You got to get that guy on the ground and that guy on the ground. Hurts and Lamb.
Andre Stevenson is the running back. Hurts flushed to his right. Throws on the run on target. CeeDee Lamb, as you said, you can't lose him, Todd. And they did. Almost to midfield.
It's almost a by design quarterback leave the pocket against this 3-man rush, because that's a long developing play. The quarterback rolls out. Lamb goes from one side of the field to the other and just gets behind the zone defense. When you only rush 3 and you have a quarterback like Hurts, if he gets outside of contain, you might get a problem, and that was a problem.
31-yard gain. Now back to the run with Ramondre Stevenson. Terrell Bernard drove him back. He's been a big part of Baylor's defensive success this year. Their leading tackler wasn't even a starter at middle linebacker, but Clay Johnston was injured. Bernard stepped in. He's been outstanding.
Unbelievable. I mean, both guys had great years when they were playing. Both of them made second-team All-Big 12. Bernard came into the game tonight with 95 tackles, far and away the leading tackler on the team.
Well, Johnston only played in 6 games. He's their 4th leading tackler still. Good rush. Hurts steps up away from it and gets ripped down from behind by James Lynch. Short of the first down. They're into Baylor territory at the 47. We're under 2 minutes to go in a tie game. Baylor and Oklahoma tied at 23 for the Big 12 championship. And should Georgia lose tonight, very likely the winner of this one will go to the college football playoff.
This down and distance, Lincoln Riley's got a lot of options if he wants to run or throw.
Burkich's long field goal is 50.
Baylor showing man coverage right now with the potential pressure, and Lincoln Riley wants a timeout.
Well, the crucial 3rd down and 3
Oklahoma
coming here.
Takes his 2nd timeout of the half. This will be a 1-minute timeout.
Well, it hasn't always been pretty.
No.
But
Been
it sure
fun,
has
though.
become exciting.
Yeah.
What Jacob Zeno has done in this game, to me, is the most remarkable thing. But how about this key 3rd down and 3 here? Where do they go?
Well, I think they put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands. I think they give him something where he has the option to throw if it's there and run if it's not there. I mean, he's their leader. He's their guy. He's got him to this point. And I think you keep it in his hands here. And you might even be thinking 2-down territory here with Jalen Hurts having it twice.
Well, that would be risky near midfield. Jalen Hurts making history.
Oklahoma now with 1 timeout left. Baylor has 2.
Jalen, the first player ever to start at quarterback in a conference championship game for 2 different schools. Did it, of course, for Alabama a couple of years ago. Came off the bench to win it for them. Last year in the SEC game against Georgia, when Tua Tagovailoa got hurt in the 4th quarter, they were down by a touchdown. Will he have more late game heroics here to lead Oklahoma to victory?
Again, you know, when Baylor has rushed 3. They've been able to collapse the pocket, but they haven't been able to keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket. I'd be curious to see if Phil Snow wants to bring some extra defenders on this third down play to pressure Hurts.
Stevenson remains the featured back. Jeremiah Hall in there as well, number 27. They rush more people. Hurts in retreat, sets himself and fires, and it's C.D. Lamb.
Oh, they're waving it off here.
Oh, the back judge comes in. All the other officials were saying catch.
On the field is an incomplete pass. 4th down.
The officials were getting ready to mark the ball inside the 35, but the back judge emphatically came in and he got the call right. Credit Donnie Altman, the back judge, with the best view of it. Clearly an incomplete pass, and now what does Lincoln Riley do on 4th and 3, 1:14 to go, tied at 23.
He's going to punt the football, and probably the smart thing to do. Your defense has played well enough for you to win. You've leaned on your defense. See if they can get another stop.
Perhaps at Oklahoma, they're long overdue for the defense to carry the offense.
You know, it's interesting because when we talked to Alex Grinch, he said we don't want to blame it on the offense. Say, hey, go win it for us. They have their own standard now.
Reeves Munshaw the punt. Lands near the 15. And he takes a great bounce. They almost waited too long. Inside the 1. Great punt by Munshaw. A lot of it on the bounce. Here's Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Sean. Up next on ABC, the American Championship game. Cincinnati and Memphis meeting for the 2nd straight week, but this time for the conference title. 3:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. Sean, Todd, back to you.
All right, Cassidy, thanks. 46-yard punt. So now the true freshman Zeno, in a tie game, a minute 2 to go, has to be so careful handling the ball, taking the snap, and if he is in the end zone, getting rid of it without committing a penalty.
We haven't seen him under the center at all in this game, but they might be on this play. But they've got to get it out away from their own goal line.
Michael Hasty lined up behind him. He is under center.
That's all you can do. Now, Oklahoma can stop it once if they want to. But if you're Baylor, you're playing for overtime right now. I mean, you're too far back in your own territory. You fought your way back with the 3rd quarterback. You just want to play this game in overtime now.
4 fourth quarter come from behind wins this season against Iowa State, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, TCU, trailed in the 4th quarter in all of them, rallied to win all of them. They were down 20-13 entering this 4th quarter.
Get down.
Zeno again. I mean, so many of these quarterbacks now come out of high school in these spread offenses. Right. They're never under center. A lot of times they arrive at college, they have to be taught how to take the snap from center. Neither team's going to stop it. And this Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game with so much at stake, including the possibility of a spot in the college football playoff, will go to overtime. And we'll have it for you after we step aside from Arlington, Texas.
Central Cotton Bowl berth on the line for Brady White and Memphis as they host Cincinnati for the American Championship. As soon as the Big 12 championship game is over, we'll get you to Memphis. Back to Sean and Todd.
All right, each team with a timeout.
And after overtime here, we'll have the trophy presentation on ESPN Plus to the winner of this Big 12 championship game. We'll look through the Dr. Pepper pylon camera. 18th Big 12 championship game, just the 2nd overtime game. Back in the early days of the Big 12 championship game, the 3rd game played in St. Louis in 1998. Texas A&M beat Kansas State 36-33. They showed highlights of that on game day this morning. It was a tremendous football game. Sir Parker, a 32-yard pass from Brandon Stewart to win it. After Martin Gramatica kicked a field goal for K-State in the overtime. Mike DeFee will go through the rules for the captains.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to have overtime. All right, the winner of the toss has an option of offense, defense, which end of the field we play on. The loser will have the remaining option. Each team will have one timeout. Okay, we're going to go to, we have a winner. If we end up in the third overtime period, you know, we got to go for two. In the fifth overtime period, it'd be from the 3-yard line for tries. So, Baylor, you're the visitor. This is heads. This is tails. Tails. This is heads. What's your call?
Let's go heads.
Heads. Heads is his call. It's heads. You won the toss. You want defense, which means you're going to be on offense. You want to play on that end of the field. Baylor won the toss and is elected defense. Oklahoma's elected to play on this end of the field. Oklahoma have the ball 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Let's have a good one.
Jordan Williams, the call for Baylor. Teams always pick defense because each team will get the ball, and you want to know what the other team has done when they have the ball, so you know what you have to do when you get it. They've been the comeback kids this year. They've won 2 games in multiple overtimes of the Baylor Bears. Oklahoma didn't go to overtime this year. Baylor beat Texas Tech in 2 overtimes in October in Waco 33-30. Then they needed 3 overtimes to win at TCU on November 10th.
We have had 2 kickers that have been outstanding today, too. I mean, my goodness, they have been true down the middle all day. And we have a veteran senior quarterback playing in his conference championship with his 2nd team, and we have a true freshman playing in his 1st ever.
It'll be the veteran Hurts. Seems like he's been in the spotlight in college football forever, unlike Jake Zeno, who just emerged out of literally nowhere. There's a face mask as C.D. Lamb caught the pass and then got spun around.
Yeah, just trying to get it a little bit on that tunnel screen, bring him back inside with
Personal
blockers.
Foul, face mask, defense number 38. Half the distance to go from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Jordan Williams, one of the captains, one of the guys who made that call on the heads, on the coin, clearly face mask. Never let go of it. And a big break right away for Oklahoma.
Jordan Williams, one of many seniors and 5th-year seniors who were here through the difficulty. They all had the opportunity to leave, go someplace else. Some did. Some stuck with Matt Rule. They said they believed what he was preaching. And boy, did what he promised turn out to be true. Playing for a Big 12 championship right now. On 1st and 10, Jalen Hurts inside the 10. Powerful run. We talked to Terrell Bernard yesterday, the linebacker who played against Jalen Hurts in high school. He said he was tough to tackle in high school, and he's only gotten stronger since.
Well, he was such a known weightlifter in high school, a power lifter, also a state champion in powerlifting, and he's continued that in college. Just so powerfully built, particularly in his lower body, and you see that in that leg drive on a play like that.
One of the great winners in college football history. 37-3 combined as a starting quarterback at Alabama and Oklahoma, with excellent casts around him, obviously. Ramondre Stevenson, a touchdown for Oklahoma. And here's a big extra point for Gabe Burkich. Todd said both kickers have been clutch today, both 3 for 3 in field goals, and they've made all the extra points. And Burkich still hasn't missed a kick, field goal or PAT all year.
This is the bread and butter play for Oklahoma. It's the counter trap. They pulled a guard and the tackle Swenson. One guy kicks out, the other guy leads through. There's the kick out, there's the lead through, and Stevenson into the end zone, and Oklahoma scores on their first overtime possession.
So it's a 7-point lead. Baylor will need a touchdown and the extra point on this possession. Quickly to Kevin Negandhi.
Sean Todd reminding our audience the American Championship is underway at the Liberty Bowl. You can catch it on the ESPN app. And when we're done in Arlington, we'll go to Memphis for Cincinnati-Memphis. Back to you guys.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Jacob Zeno, true freshman, under pressure, and throws it away wisely with 2 men right in his face, including big Neville Gallimore.
Yeah, Gallimore just whipped the center on that play. Sam Tecklenburg, number 52, the center, got whipped right away.
So Alex Grinch, in a situation like this, you know you have the 7 points. The worst they can do is tie you.
Right, be aggressive.
True freshman quarterback in the game. Wouldn't you keep coming after him as they did there?
Go after him. Motley's done a great job on Mims all night. I say bring extra people and see what the quarterback can do.
Mims, top of your screen, 61 catches this year, none today. One of the best receivers in Baylor history. Had 1 catch, it was called back by a penalty. Zeno, flushed again, chased by Ronnie Perkins, throws incomplete near sideline. Intended for Tyquan Thornton.
Well, they only rushed 4. They dropped into zone again. I mean, this has been a change. At the end of the game in Waco, they played zone on 2 particular plays in a row. The last 2 plays. The last one was an interception. Let's see what Alex Grinch dials up here on 3rd and 10. Showing zone again.
Most of the fans here at AT&T Stadium on their feet. Sizable Oklahoma contingent making a lot of noise, trying to make it tough for Jacob Zeno. Under pressure again and planted back at the 35-yard line. Nick Benito, Jalen Redmond leading the way for the Sooners.
Well, watch Benito. He's a linebacker lined up right here. He's just going to come right inside the left tackle. Just beats Connor Galvin right off the snap and right up the middle. And Redmond there to finish it off. But when that pressure comes right up into your lap, there's not much a quarterback can do.
So Baylor using its 1 timeout for the overtime. So 4th and 20. They continue to bring the heat after Jacob Zeno, who's demonstrated when he has time, he can be as accurate and strong-armed as just about any quarterback you'd see. They've had a magical season. They've had an unbelievable turnaround in just a couple of years. But they're down to 1 play to try to stay alive for the Big 12 title and the national championship picture.
I think you got to get the quarterback out of the pocket, maybe roll him to the field here.
They rush 4, drop everybody else, and they still get there. He got the throw off. It's incomplete. And Oklahoma is the Big 12 champion again. Their 5th straight conference championship. Clemson will have a chance to match that in the ACC tonight against Virginia. And Jalen Hurts almost certainly, Todd, heading back to the college football playoff, this time as a member of the Oklahoma Sooners if Georgia loses tonight, the team he dealt defeat to in the SEC championship game 1 year ago.
And Lincoln Riley, if that's the case, is going back to the college football playoff, this time with a defense.
For sure. Yeah, the defense really was the biggest factor in them winning the game today, especially at the end when they overwhelmed Baylor. Here's Holly.
Well, Lincoln Riley right down to the wire. How did your defense save the day?
Guts, man. They played like they have the majority this year. There's great defense being played at the University of Oklahoma right now. Man, I'm proud of those guys. The coaches, All our guys, man. We hung in there. Didn't play our best. We beat a damn good team here today, and we're the champs.
It was hard, Lincoln. I see the emotion in your face. How difficult was this win today?
It's what it should be. This league's been great all year. Baylor's has a heck of a team. They're easily one of the best teams in the country. It was a great battle. We had 2 great battles with them. Hats off to Coach Rule and Baylor.
I love you, Coach.
You've had a special quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Jalen.
I don't care about that, bro. What's up, bro? Good stuff, man.
You win the championship for the Big 12 in your first season playing in this conference. How wild has this year been for you behind the scenes?
We talk about the perseverance of this team and how hard we worked. As soon as I got here, man, putting the work in every day. And we set out, to do this, and we did, but we're not done. So we're happy about this. We're very excited.
I know better than to ask you that, Jalen, by now. But you have had to acclimate quickly with your teammates. They voted you a captain. How has this brotherhood surrounded you for success?
I love this guy. I love these guys. They took me in, made me one of them. They accepted me as their leader, and through my goods and my bads, they have my back all the time, and I love them.
Years from now, when we talk about your story in college football, how will we describe this crazy ride you've been on?
Well, I hope the story ain't over.
Thank you.
It's had some remarkable twists and turns. This game did as well. Jalen Hurts, 11 out of 13 passing, by the way, in the second half. Clutch as usual, and it matters most. Jacob Zeno, scout team quarterback earlier in the week, into the game as the 3rd quarterback for Baylor. His performance will long be remembered. Oklahoma perhaps on to the playoff. But if not, at the very least, the Sugar Bowl. If they go to the playoff, it's Baylor in the Sugar Bowl.